Good evening, Pio Nation. I hope you're doing well. My name is Matt Williamson, and you are watching Marietta College Esports. So here we are. The finals. The moment you have been waiting for. As we've mentioned for several weeks now, our Overwatch team has been participating in the Concordia St. Paul Overwatch Spring Cup Tournament. We were not able to broadcast the regular season matches, but we have been broadcasting the playoffs, and the Pioneers have advanced to the finals of this tournament. And lo and behold, who do we see up against us? The team that we have to defeat to win the championship? It is our good old OAC rivals, Muskingum University. Yes, I cannot count how many times we played against Muskingum this semester. But yes, we will be playing Muskingum once again. This time, everything's at stake for this grand finals. And in fact, it is such a big deal. This is going to be a best of 7. That is a first for our Overwatch team. So right now, everyone is in the lobby. So let's take a look at who will be playing for the Overwatch team tonight. So at tank, we will have freshman Mason Flash, Harmful Hades, and actually there's a bit of a change in the roster here. I did not get a chance to update this. We will also have at tank Senior Ian Darling Brimstone. He usually plays DPS or support, but he will be tanking for us today. At DPS, we will have Junior Drayton Piper Shakendorf and freshman Corey McFan C4 Gamer. And at support, we will have Junior Morgan White Poseidon, he'll be on his Neptune account. And then at support, we will have freshman Tyler Sananicho as a Azadale. But yeah, our team has been working very hard preparing for this match. And I think we're going to be starting very soon. So I want to make sure I get the audio ready for that. I think everything is good there. It looks like the first map will be Nepal. Since Marietta is the lower seed in this matchup, they get to choose the first map. Yeah, so while we're waiting, just a couple of quick reminders. So we'll have a couple other matches for you this week. So tomorrow, our Rocket League team will have its final match of the semester against Trine University. This will be the 5th place match for the Great Lakes Esports Conference. And then on Saturday, our League of Legends team will be competing in the semifinals of the College League of Legends Teamo Cup. They'll be going up against Concordia College of Chicago, or Renegades Esports. So that will be Saturday at 4 p.m. And I guess I should mention that our Rocket League match tomorrow will be at 7 p.m. So please be sure to check out all those matches. Will be very exciting indeed. Okay, so just making sure everything is good with the lobby. So I'm going to make sure audio is up and running. But yeah, everyone's there. All the roster is set up correctly. But yeah, this is going to be an exciting match here between Marietta and Muskingum. I mean, first of all, there's a lot of history between the two schools in just the Ohio Athletic Conference. But there's a lot of history in the GLEC as well, because we do play Muskingum quite often in all of our games. Now, Muskingum has been performing very well, not only in this tournament, but in the GLEC in general. They have been, I think they're undefeated in the CSP tournament, if I remember correctly. So it is going to be an uphill bound for the Pioneers, but they've been practicing hard, they've been making adjustments, and we'll see how well they do, and see if we can get that championship and bring it back home to Marietta College. All right, so I think we're going to be starting right at 9 o'clock our time. There's a 3-minute delay with our stream here. So it might be more like 9:03 by the time you guys see the match. So I'm going to just make sure I have everything to go so I don't miss anything. Okay. All right, everything looks good there. And make sure I have everyone available and everyone ready. So I think, yeah, just waiting for the ready checks to come in, and we will have this match underway. Checking a couple things in Discord. everything here is good. So now we're just waiting for the ready checks, and we will get this match up and running. Anytime now. Everyone's just having a good time in the lobby chat. Once we get the game started, we will get this up here for you. So I think we're just double checking a couple things, make sure everything is set up and good to go. I think we're good on our end, so I'm just waiting to make sure Muskingum is good to go on their end. Yeah, still waiting for a couple things to get set up here. You know what? We'll go ahead and get over to... Oh, no. So I was thinking about just bringing the lobby over here on the screen, but we'll wait until everyone is good. If I knew we had this much time, I'll throw in my shameless plug that we're always looking for players for esports programming. It's like if you're a Marietta College student, that you can always get a hold of me and say, hey, I'd like to be part of your esports programs. It's not like you can email me at williamm@marietta.edu or anything. And if I had enough time, we even talk about the fact that if you are a high school senior looking at competing in esports at the collegiate level, that we do offer scholarships. Now, our last tryout date is going to be this Saturday. So if you're interested in trying out for one of our scholarships, it's just a 3-step process. So, I mean, you first fill out a recruitment form, which is bit.ly/mcrecruit. You then apply for admission at marietta.edu/apply. And then you can schedule your tryouts at bit.ly/mcesporttryouts. And then you can select this Saturday to do your tryout, and we can set that up on our Discord server. And then we can see how you do and possibly offer a scholarship. If I had enough time before our first game, I would even mention that we only have a limited number of scholarships available. So if you wait too long, then we would have to say, sorry, we're out of scholarships because you took too long to respond. But yeah, I mean, I guess we don't really have the time to talk about our scholarship offerings at the college. And give a shout out to El Smithereens for the Prime Gaming sub. Thank you for the 5 months. Your support is graciously appreciated. It is people like you, all the people who have followed and subscribed to our channel, is definitely help with supporting our esports programs. I mean, in fact, if I had a little more time while for this first game to start up, I would even mention that we do have some perks for subscribing to our Twitch channel. So by subscribing, you get access to our custom Marietta College emotes, courtesy of our communication brand management department. So you can give all your expressions of cheering or if you're upset about anything, but we have all these emotes available to you. You get access to all of our VODs, so this broadcast will be immediately available on our Twitch channel right afterwards. But if you have Amazon Prime, then you have Prime Gaming. All you gotta do is just create a free Twitch account, link it to your Amazon Prime account, and boom, you got Prime Gaming. So then you can use that with a free sub you get every month to any streamer of your choice. Now you could use that for us, you can use that for someone else, you could use that for us, just saying. But okay, it looks like the ready checks are coming in. So we're getting things started. Let's get this underway. This best of 7 series, Marietta College versus Musingum University. We're going to be on Nepal. So let's see that hype in the chat. Let's cheer on the Pioneers. This is the moment they have all been waiting for to compete in a grand finals. So special shout outs to Concordia St. Paul for putting on this tournament. I know our players have had a blast competing in it. So thank you so much for putting this together and giving us this opportunity to compete. Alright, so we're going to see what compositions everyone's going to be going with.
Ready for battle.
So it looks like Marietta is going to go with a Ryan Diva combination, a tank, a little bit of McCree, Junkrat at DPS. Yeah, C4 Gamer loves playing the Junkrat. It looks like Shaken Dwarf is kind of picking some options of what he wants to go with. And we're going to see the Baptiste Lucio support. Meanwhile, Muskingum is going to go with the classic Reinhardt Zarya combination at tank. And going to go with Soldier 76 and McCree at DPS, followed by Anna and Mercy at support. Alright. Looks like Marietta is going to be working her way towards the point and rotating behind. Meanwhile, Muskingum is going to try to take the high ground. But Marietta is on the point first. Rafam is going to try to work his way in. Harmful Hades is going to swing the hammer a little bit. Harmful Hades does go down early, though, and that's going to be Muskingum's opportunity to get into the point. Maywall does try to zone people out, but we see Rafam going to be charging in. Does not connect with anyone. But the anti does come out and get a lot of the Pioneers. And we see C4 Gamer going down, but it's a 2-for-2 now at that fight, but Muskingum will capture the point first. You see Harmful Hades is able to take out Doc, and Marietta may try to recontest the point. They will zone out Muskingum, but Slam Dunk is going to try to get some damage onto the Diva. But Neptune does take out Yuki. Now Marietta is going to try to recapture, get the point, and they will take it away from Muskingum. Brimstone was able to get the Diva mech back up online. And looks like Muskingum is going to go back up to the high ground. Azadale is going to spot it out and let his teammates know. Muskingum is going to try to see if they can get the pick. And here comes the Riptire. Does not get anyone, though. And in fact, Trev Daddy is going to take out C4 Gamer. Valkyrie is going to be coming out for Muskingum. So this is high news going to be coming out for Trev Daddy. Does not get anyone with it, though. Harmful Hades is put down half health. Nano is going to be coming out for the Rafam. Does take out Harmful Hades. The Shatter comes out. Does not get anyone. But Muskingum is going to be able to zone out Marietta, taking down Neptune. And they will capture the point. Marietta did get it to 45%. But yeah, quite a few ults were used by Muskingum. They used 4 ults, so they still have Grab, they still have Visor. Marietta has, I don't think they used any ults in that fight, except for the Riptire. But the beat is ready to go, and we see a couple ults almost ready for Marietta. Here comes the Visor for Muskingum. Rafam's going to be charging in. It's a double charger. Immortality Field does come out and gets taken out by Slam Dunk. There's the grab and the beat. Harmful Hades has fallen, but so has Rafam, but Neptune's fallen. Trev Daddy has gone down, so it's a 2-for-2 at this point. Damage is going all over the place. We're going to see the Pulse Bomb come and take out Yuki, but it's still kind of a 1-for-1 trade there, except Slam Dunk has taken out Shaken Dwarf. So Muskingum does win the fight barely, but it is enough to take the lead in the control point. Now it's at 60%. So Marietta will be grouping back up. So they do have pretty much 3 ults ready to go. Muskingum has almost high noon. So Marietta is going to be rotating around to the back. Window's going to be coming out for Neptune. And there's going to be the Shatter from Harmful Hades. And Marietta has already gotten 2 kills. And they will capture the point. They do take out Trev Daddy. And I totally missed that fight. That is my horrible camera skills. We need a better production crew here, that's for sure. But Marietta is going to be in a little bit of a predicament. They got to make sure they hold on to this point for the rest of the map, because if Muskingum takes it again, that might be enough for them to secure this first round. So they will take the high ground. Muskingum is going to be rotating around. We do see Valkyrie coming out for Muskingum. Riptire is going to be coming out again for C4 Gamer, and Diva Bomb is going to be coming out. The Tire takes down 1. Rafam is going to be working his way in. But right now it's a 1-for-1, 2-for-2. But Muskingum is starting to take down the Pioneers. But Marietta's getting the ticks onto the point. But Muskingum will secure the point. Marietta got to 96. But now Marietta is running out of time. Azadale does get picked off, and that's going to stagger it a little bit. But now the point's at 90%. Marietta is going to have to move and work their way in. Otherwise, Muskingum will take round 1 of this map. They do get into overtime. Grab does go off. And a huge pulse bomb by Shaker, but it's just not enough. They just did not have enough time to get to the point, and unfortunately, Muskingum will take the first round. That was so close. A huge bomb there by Shaken Dwarf, but they just were not able to get to the point on time. Oh, that is gotta be a heartbreaker for the Pioneers. Alright, so we'll see if they make any adjustments to the composition. It doesn't look like they're going to. Although it seems like Muskingum is going to swap over, Trevdie is going to swap over to the Echo instead of the McCree. But otherwise, they're going to keep the same composition.
4, 3, 2, 1. Round 2. Capture the objective.
Alright, so Marietta is going to get over to the point first. There's a double charging coming out. Immortality Field does come out for Marietta. Although they are taking out 2, and they will secure the point first. The Marietta's holding very well.
Hey.
Alright, so C4 Gamers gained the pick onto Trev Daddy. Marietta is holding this point very well. And they are pushing Muskingum off the point. Although Slam Ducky does take down Shaken Door, so Marietta is going to have to fall back. And give it enough time to get back to the point. Riptire is going to come out, and it catches 3 on Muskingum. And Harmful Hades does get the kill onto Rafam. Alright, so right now the point's at 80%. Marietta's holding very well. Muskingum doesn't have just about all ults online, so we may see him starting to press Q. We're already seeing the clone coming out, Deadeye coming out. Although a huge play by Azadale, booping 2 of Muskingum off, and Shaken Dwarf's Deadeye is going to be taking out Slam Ducky. So Marietta, in a dominating fashion, is holding this point. Muskingum is trying to swap over to get to the point, but Marietta does secure this round. I don't know what happened there, but it was just a huge difference from the way Marietta played in map 1.
Ready for battle.
Alright. Now it looks like Shaken Dwarf's going to be swapping to the Symmetra. And so is Trev Daddy. We might see some Symmetra shenanigans going here at the very beginning. And a pause is coming out. I think Marietta asked for it. There is a computer issue. So I think we're going to try to see what's going on with that. While we're waiting for that, I've been hearing that there might be some sync issues with the audio. I guess I'm seeing it's okay. All right, just making sure that the audio is fine. There aren't any sync issues, so I don't have to reset the stream. Okay, so I'm not so sure what the computer issues are, but hopefully we'll be able to get this back up real soon. But yeah, while we're waiting for that, that was just a huge performance by Marietta on that second map, just holding it from 0 to 100% and not allowing Muskingum to contest the point at all. Or whenever they did, Marietta pounced on them. So hopefully we get the computer issue resolved and see if Marietta can keep up that momentum going into this third round. Let's see if I can figure out what's going on here. All right, I'm just gonna try to see if I can figure out what the computer issue is. All right, so it looks like Azadale's computer is freezing up. So he's going to try a restart real quick to see if that fixes the issue. I think it was, remember he mentioned it was acting up earlier during warm-ups. So we're going to try restarting real quick, see if we can get that working, and then we will get this back to you. Shout out once again to CSP. Thank you so much for hosting. Thank you so much for putting on the this whole tournament. I know I mentioned earlier, but I think it was great to be able to have teams of similar calibers be able to play against each other. Because sometimes when you play against these major tournaments, you never know who you're going to be playing against, and sometimes you go up against GM level players. Sometimes you get something on your caliber. So having something where everyone is at that same level playing field is was very nice, and I hope that you guys will be doing this again next year. I know our team would love to be involved with it. We're just double checking the status of the computer. We're just double checking rules on pauses here. Making sure that everything is, that we're doing everything that should be done. I just gotta pull up the documentation here. Pause and passes for technical issue. Check. Let's request the pause. All right, yeah. So we're just double checking the official rules here on the pause. All right, so yeah, Azadale is restarting his computer. Hopefully, he'll be able to get that back on within the 5-minute pause limit. We should be able to get this up and running soon. don't see him back on Discord just yet, so probably still waiting for everything to boot up. All right, and it looks like, folks, we might have a special guest joining us to help with commentating this match. So while we are waiting for Azadale to get back in, I'm just going to go ahead and see if we can get the call started up here. All right. How do I do that again? Let's see. All right, you gotta make. I haven't done too many of these Discord calls. Hello.
Hello, hello. How are we doing?
Good. We're still in the stream, by the way.
Perfect.
But, yeah, since we were having some technical issues, one of our players has his computer is not cooperating, so he's going to run over to our facility to get everything set up. So we should be up and running in a few minutes. But so while we are waiting, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself to everyone?
That's awesome. Well, as long as we get people here, that's the best part. And it's going to be exciting nonetheless. I appreciate you having me on.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah. So for those who are hearing you for the first time, go ahead and introduce yourself to everyone in the chat.
Hello, everybody. My name is Coach Hermes from Concordia University, St. Paul. Avid Overwatch player, but also the coach of CSP's esports team. I actually have our players watching the stream in the other room, and we're really looking for a wonderful set of matches today versus Muskingum and Marietta, as both teams not only fared very strongly in the tournament, but also have very good main tank lineups. It's really cool to see, especially as you were talking about earlier, at this level, what that variant looks like from, a master's level player, what does a 4K 4.5 look like, but also to what the team play looks like here, right? Just the positioning, the spacing, and everything else in between. And so that's what I'm excited about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's very interesting with player composition. So, like with Muskingum's roster, Treb Daddy is Muskingum's top player. Like everything revolves around him, and he does a phenomenal job being able to set the plays and make the plays for Muskingum. Marietta is more of a group-oriented type structure. So if they are on the same page, they can perform very well. But there's been times where if they're not necessarily on that same page, then we start seeing things kind of falling apart here. So it's really interesting with the team compositions and how that goes. And as you were mentioning about hoping for very exciting matches, the fact that we already have one map apiece and just how well both teams have performed in there is kind of a preview of what to expect in this best of 7 series.
It is. No, I'm excited to see, as we've both faced obviously both of these teams throughout the tournament. A big part of what Muskingum wants to do is they want to put Treb Daddy in the right position. They want to, especially on this map with the Symmetra, if that's the pick they want to continue with. Not only do they want to find a good teleport spot, but Symmetra is in place of that Lucio because they have those two main heals. And they want to start creating that space for their Reinhardt and their D.Va to start making waves. Rafam is a very aggressive Reinhardt. And I think with having to go against Harmful Hades in the way, we definitely saw in the first match where it definitely seems like it is the battle of spacing and tanks. And that's what C4 Gamer has to disrupt on a Junkrat, or more importantly, finding something with a little bit more frontline damage potential, a little front to back, because they're using Brimstone on the Diva. It's definitely going to be interesting because we are moving away from this brawlish comp, right, as with the Zarya and Reinhardt. But as we get this, player back and player in, it's going to be strange how they use this point, because there's such a blockage in the middle. And it's always fun to see Reinhardt's here. This is why you also see Roadhog's here too.
Oh yes, I did see that that Azadel has made it over here. He's logging in now, so we should be starting back up in just a minute or two. So thank everyone for your patience as we're trying to get this set up. If everyone's maybe wondering, like, why is he coming to our esports facility now? Why has he been doing that beforehand? Just because of COVID protocols, we've been trying to play it safe, and we've had our players play from their rooms whenever possible, just to make sure we don't spread COVID. And that has worked very well for our players. But sometimes you're at the mercy of your own computers or campus network connections.
Exactly. And sometimes when it comes to that, you want to make sure you're being as safe and as distant as possible. So let's say your arena doesn't have that space, or maybe you're just the player felt comfortable at home and then suddenly internet connection went out. That happens all the time. I think that the last time this happened at a professional match was during the beginning of COVID in League of Legends, where a player actually had to sprint from home to go to their professional facility because they hadn't had facilities set up until there was an actual problem with the match. And so the game was postponed for about 30 to 45 minutes. Thankfully, I don't think that's happening here. I think it was an only 5 to 10 minute break. I'm glad we had this little lull because this is the best of 7, right? And truly, I think anything can happen, especially since we are 1-1 on Nepal here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so be very... And what's really going to be interesting about this is just the momentum was in Marietta's favor after that second round, but what's going to happen to momentum now that there has been this unexpected break to get all the technical issues figured out? Can Marietta kind of get back into that mindset the way they were playing in game 2, or is this going to give Muskingum that opportunity to take a breather and just kind of reassess what happened? I should say second round, not game 2, but reassess what happened in that second round, and can they adjust going into this round?
So I think they can adjust. So a lot of players in gaming, especially in esports, they take a mental break whenever a game is paused, right? And we see this throughout Overwatch. We see kind of the coaches behind them saying, "Hey, it's all right," being in a call and saying, "All right, this is what you're going to do next. How are you going to face this play? All right, what are we working towards, and how are we trying our best to keep that mental up?" Because these small lulls can really affect that. You forget what's happening around you because you're so in tune with your teams and your calls, and having to actually have pause and maybe making side jokes here and there, it could distract you. I think it's probably going to affect Marietta more than Muskingum because they, as we're back in, have stuff set more in stone. I think they play more consistently, and that's to their advantage right away.
All right, well, we'll see. We are back. Hopefully you can see everything okay.
Oh, definitely.
Okay,
so
just making sure.
Point right away.
You can see Neptune got picked off pretty early by Doc. But Marietta is on the point first, so we'll see if they can hold. But Shaking Dwarf does get taken down. Teleporter is out from Muskingum. And the symmetric turrets are trying to get some damage. Both Performs have gone down. But Marietta is still on that point, but Muskingum is starting to recapture it and take it away from Marietta. Neptune is back on there trying to contest, but he gets taken out by Doc again. And it's looked at Muskingum is going to take the point first.
That they will. No, a big part of this Muskingum take was just making sure that they space themselves out well, and also seeing Slam Ducky on the Hanzo, just being able to have those storm arrows just rush in, that can really melt Harmful Hades' shield. And now it's just the ultimate game. We are seeing Rafam, again, the more aggressive Reinhardt with the Shatter. As Queen Pratt has the Nano, they're going to wait for that, and that's going to be the next catalyst of this team fight.
You see Mary trying to push onto the point. The Shatter does come out, and it's a huge Shatter there. I should be upset by that. And I am.
Hey, we call it as we see it. The thing
Yeah.
is, like, now we see what alt econ does, because at the end of the day, Muskingum, if they play this right, should always have their ults rotating. I think Yuki might have used Valkyrie a little too soon. But however, it is now really up to Marietta to start farming those ults and start getting kind of on even ground. If they can take this next team fight here, they'll definitely have that, and that's with Wall with Neptune.
We're seeing Dragons coming out. Does
Dragons.
yeah, we're seeing
Slim
that.
Ducky really taking that play here. I do apologize.
That's okay. Yeah.
No, Trev Daddy cleaning up. I think Rafam right away is having a very good time, just because they were able to, again, stagger those ultimates. And now they do have to play a little back.
Yeah, we just seen the ult coordination by Muskingum and how it's paying off, being able to coordinate the grab dragons. And we're seeing Marietta's going to try to take a different route to rotate around to see if they can catch Muskingum. They do have two ults right here. Comes the Riptire. You see if C4 Gamer can catch anyone with it. Unfortunately, he does not. Points at 95%. Another shatter by Rafam trying to zone Marietta off the point, but they're going to have to get onto the point now. Otherwise, Muskingum will take this first map.
And it will have Neptune on the point, bouncing around like a little frog, even though they don't have a Lucy, but he's the only one left. And with that clear, it will be Muskingham University taking Nepal. Very hard fought, however, by Marietta. And I think there's a lot of holes that they were able to poke on point 2 right away that can be exploited for the rest of the maps. As we see Rafam's play of the game. This is that shatter, right?
Yeah, it's that, what was it, that 5 or 6...
Oh,
You got the entire team.
Yep. That's gorgeous. And then they're looking for the stall here. No, definitely Musking showing up big in game 1. Again, these are the top 2 teams in the tournament. I expect nothing less than being contested on the map that Marietta was able to pick. And we'll definitely see what next map they choose right away. You having a little bit more insider knowledge, what do you think the second map is going to be?
That's actually a really good question. So it's going to be Escort next, and the options are Junkertown, Havana, and Dorado. And Marietta has chosen all 3 throughout the entire tournament. So it's not like they necessarily have one that they prefer over any of those 3. But if I were to I don't even know if I can predict. I'm going to guess Junkertown, just because since Shaken Dwarf is a DPS rather than tank this time, he loves playing Widowmaker, especially on a map like Junkertown, which screams snipers.
Mm-hmm.
And they choose Havana instead. Tells you what I know.
Hey, well, there you go. No, that's the surprise. I mean, at the end of the day, Havana is a very good escort map. And the big part about this map is you can still have those sniper lines that you were talking about, especially as first point, especially if they choose defense first. If they're looking to showcase the power of their DPS players, it is through sniping. It's through basically shield break, as I don't see Rafam switching off of Reinhardt anytime soon, especially after that last game. They're probably going to start slow pushing, and if I was Muskingum, I'd either bring out a dive off tank in the Winston or even the Roadhog to start taking snipers off of their perch, just because of how effective a Widowmaker or a good Hanzo is on a map like Havana.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, Rafam is pretty much a Reinhardt main, so I would expect to see him play that through the entire series.
Exactly. Big thing here, though, is that this map is situated in beautiful Havana, but also the left-hand side, especially if you're on attack from the payload. Payload maps being maps that you take a cart and you push it all the way to the end, and there's 3 sections of the map. First section grants unlocks the second section and so forth, with the last section being the easiest for the defenders to defend and the hardest for the attackers to push. Starts off pretty easy for the attackers here to spawn right next to the payload, and I'm really looking to see how Muskingum starts this attack. They do have Tread Daddy on Torbjorn, which could tell me a little bit of a pirate ship action. However, haven't seen that for a while, and if they do that, they definitely have a lot of confidence not to be sniped off of the payload.
Yeah, but they're on defense first. Marietta's on offense first.
You see, look at me, being a fool, looking at right and left and not doing anything else. Well, if that's the case, keeping the Torbjorn is still an awkward play for the exact same reason, unless they keep a shield behind it and keep it at that corner. That spacing is what's going to make up the difference, and that is a lot of confidence coming out the gate here.
Yeah, interesting. Barry's going to actually go with a double sniper with the Hanzo and Widowmaker. As I said, Shakendorf loves playing the Widowmaker, so he's using this as an opportunity to play that. But C4 Gamer is going to be also going with the sniper with the Hanzo, so we'll see how that plays a role in this matchup. But Marietta is moving up the payload, but this first turn is always crucial. That's where you usually see that first team fight in the map.
Exactly, and we are seeing a double brawl here. With Brimstone and Doc fighting for Zarya supremacy. We are seeing Doc, however, getting a little bit more charge, and that's just from being on the attacker's corner. You have more ability to start taking down the Rhine shield and really start pumping it into the tanks here. Trev Daddy able to take down Brimstone right away. That pick going to be great as they start setting up again in the reset from Marietta, knowing that they have to start building ults, dodging flame strikes. This is very crucial, especially as you come out with double sniper here with C4.
Yeah. As he does get the pick on Yuki, and C4 Gamer does take down the Queen Brat, so that is Marietta's opportunity. The window does come out to help with that push, and Marietta's buying the space that they need to see if they can secure this first checkpoint.
And they do have the spacing, and that's what the tanks are for. They're there to buy space, and they're there to make sure that this payload not only stays secure, but Doc taking down Harmful Hades, and that's really on Rafam being able to find that charge.
So they were stopped, so Marietta's going to have to reset. Although we are seeing some ults coming up ready for everyone. Excuse me there. So we see the Dragons are ready for C4 Gamer. Brimstone only at 50% with his ult charge, so we're not going to be able to see that Dragon combo anytime soon. But Muskingum has 4 of their ults ready to go. Actually 5, almost 6. They may just try to press Q to win.
They definitely can to stop this initial push. It is a blown shatter from Rafam, only being able to take down Brimstone. As we look into this fight here, Trev Daddy will have the multi-core blocked immediately, however. And while they are getting small picks, it's not as much as you'd like to see if you are on the side of Muskingum. Because what you want to do is you want to start picking the entire team and not having these ultimates as staggered, with Shaken Dwarf popping the visor to attempt to try and pick off any stragglers that look to overstay. And it is actually starting to appear a little bit more plausible for the Brimstone C4 Gamer combo, with Azadale's Lucio ult coming up as well.
So they're working their push, trying to get back onto the payload, see if they can break down that Rafam shield. They do so, although Muskingum's going to use their own grab dragons.
Oof. That's a big oof. I think that's play of the game. Slam Ducky not only has done that, I think, to almost every team in this tournament, but they do it pretty consistently. And if you're not tracking ults as Marietta, it becomes harder and harder to keep yourself out of position for something, especially when you're running Brawl and you're all supposed to be together right behind this Reinhardt shield.
So Marietta taking another stab. They are running out of time, and Harmful Hades does get picked off early on. So it seems like Marietta, they're getting the turret under control from Trev Daddy, but it's at the cost of one of their players, and that's not the kind of trade that they need if they want to make progress. I mean, we're already about a minute and a half left in this round to get to that first checkpoint. So Marietta's going to have to find an opening to be able to push forward.
And it might be at the expense of knowing that the Rafam has Shatter again, or even just guessing that because they just used it, and once that shield goes down, that is shatterable. Double shatter, that's both seeds, that's a good Zarya ulti. This does keep Marietta alive, those dragons being able to buy a little bit of space with a minute left on the clock. And it will be Harmful Hades taking down Rafam, taking down Trev Daddy, staying on the payload, avoiding the molten core here, as C4 Gamer is able to take down the counterpart of Slam Ducky, and that is a good push. Marietta being able to find the distance, find the space, and actually able to move the payload this time as they push up here. But let's see if they can finish it, as they only have one person on the point.
Yeah, they're trying to zone out Muskingum. This is exactly what they needed to try to get back in this. They only have 30 seconds. I think they should be able to secure this checkpoint. Rafam's trying to go in the contest, though. I knew it's going to be coming out for Shaken Dwarf. But Muskingum is holding, and they are starting to push Marietta back. So I may have spoken too soon, with the point being like 2.55 meters away.
and now they have to hold. Marietta has to be able to stall here with Brimstone. Brimstone has the health. Brimstone has the shielding. If they could potentially C9 this, maybe, but they have to get on there, and that's exactly what Ezreal does. New computer, new life, and now he has beat. Let's see if he can hold it here for the rest of their team. Isn't able to, but the charge comes in, and now it is just a stagger here, as Harmful Hades is the last one to touch the point, and really, it is just 1 or 2 successful pushes from Muskingum, and they might be able to take map 2, but Marietta did bring it very close.
I think there's a bug with the map, because I think they set up as quick play and not competitive.
All right. Well, that definitely either calls for a replay of the map, or it is this is awkward. So, or it is set up so that when Muskingum gets it, we can actually look at the footage and see kind of what point total it is. But we want to be sure we're as accurate as possible.
Right.
And so we're probably going to take a small pause and try to figure that out. But do appreciate y'all. Stay tuned, watching in as Marietta almost got it to that first point here on Havana.
Yeah. So we're just trying to figure this out, folks.
Traveling to Havana. Initiating match.
Okay. So I think they're talking to us to figure out what to do here. All right, I think we got to figure it out. Yeah, so what we'll do is we will play Havana again, roll swapped. If Muskingum does get to the first checkpoint, they will take the map. All right, just letting the team know what the
Traveling to Havana. Initiating match.
All right, everybody, looking to get back in here. It will be, if they get first point, or 2.55 meters to win. And it's pretty easy resolve, especially since they caught it when they did. As we will see Muskingum attempt to have a very clean push here. If they don't, they run the risk of stalling out, and this is sometimes where teams do fall a little short. They don't get the tempo right away that they want off of this first push, and then they start staggering not only their ults, but they also end up getting picked. And that's probably why we are seeing Shaken Dwarf on that McCree, and also C4 Gamer on their go-to Junkrat as very good pick potentials to stop a hard push of Muskingum here. Looking a little closer though.
2, 1.
We are primed and ready. Slam Tucky and Doc with that Hanzo Zaryo combo. That might be the one thing they look for here as they start this push. Moving quicker as the gets to the corner. Harmful Hades taking a little bit of damage. He needs to get that shield up.
Yeah, it's already a little bit low that we do see it cracked, but Severi needs to try to break Rafam's shield, but right now Muskingum is just continuing to push the payload, but Marietta's not getting the picks that they need. They did get a stun onto Doc, but not a lot of follow-up.
And that flashbang needs to be used right on that shield so that Reinhardt can be melted. But as Doc takes Brimstone out of the mech, it will be the wall, hopefully being able to find more picks. Marietta still has good positioning, especially C4 Gamer taking out Trev Daddy. And now the payload can start to move back slowly once all members of Marietta get healed up here. Definitely the ult game is favoring Muskingum. However, with C4 Gamer's tire coming up, those support ults might not last.
It was a great hold there by Marietta. The window definitely helped. Now it's just a matter of can they hold for the next 3 minutes and 40 seconds. So Muskingum is already back on there and picked off Neptune.
And that's exactly what we see here. We will see Shaken Dwarf being able to take down Yuki, but Doc and Trev Daddy putting in work right away, and that's a good tire to try and stall. C4 Gamer able to take it out, but also going down as well. Let's see if Ezadale can keep themselves on the point, stop it from moving. And that is the name of the game, hoping their team comes back.
Harmful Hades is
Will
under
be
the
those
contest.
dragons. Harmful Hades still on the point though. Marietta can get back. This could be a full hold. Ooh, wasted shatter here, but we do have the nanoed Ryan for Fam. And as Marietta trickles back here to point, we are seeing the Valkyrie come online. Not a lot of deaths here. Doc being able to switch the ball and also take out Harmful Hades, just be able to get back to the point. They have 2 minutes and 40 seconds left, but they are pressuring. Good wall coming up, but without anyone to capitalize on it, Muskingum does have the push here.
Mariatta's trying to get onto the point.
As they look to finish this one out, it will be first point taken. And that map does go to Muskingum.
Yeah, that will do it.
2 here.
All right, so we are going to reset. We're going to try to make sure this next one has the correct settings.
Of course, good settings are representative. Good matches, you know. I think Marietta did have a good push there. But at the end of the day, Muskingum is just better at shield break at the end of the day. I can see a lot of tools that still need to be used or like focus fired onto that shield, which they're doing a lot on the side of Muskingum. But Marietta's not being able to get past either that defense matrix or that bubble to be able to tear down shield. And that's why Rafam is getting all of those shatters. And more importantly, opening up the window for their DPS to actually shine and start pushing in to find those picks.
Looks like it's going to be Eichenwald for the next map. And that's one that Marietta has practiced quite a bit, so I can see why they would go that. King's Row is always a fan favorite, but they've been kind of switching more to the Eichenwald.
Nice. No, fan favorite is King's Row. I think it's the player favorite. It's definitely one of my favorite maps because it's one that you came out right away as the base game came out. It's one that most people understand the corners of. It's also a very good Brawl map, and Brawl is something that a lot of people in solo queue know how to run naturally. Seeing the Eichenwald though tells me that they're looking to either switch up to a little bit more divey or at least use the corners so that C4 Gamer can actually utilize their Junkrat as effectively as needed. And that Junkrat has been known to pop off. Eichenwald's a really good map for that. On top of that, you can actually start seeing Skies come out with Farah and Echo and everything in between. And I think that benefits definitely Muskingum, who has A little bit of hero pool with Trev Daddy going on Junkrat 2. It is definitely who can tire the hardest here, in my opinion. But we'll definitely see that as both teams start to pick.
All right. So it looks like Marietta's going to be on offense first. Although I'm not sure they got the spectator settings right. I think the coaches can see the other teams inadvertently, but we'll see how this plays out.
Yeah. Overall, a lot of still good integrity between both varsity teams. At the end of the day, if they do want to change that setting, we do have the time. But we are seeing, no surprise, Rafam and Harmful Hades back on the Reinhardt.
Attackers incoming in 30
they're going to fix the
seconds.
spectator. There we go. Now, I wouldn't expect any shenanigans going on. There is a history between Marietta and Muskingum, the fact that they are OAC rivals. So there's always good sportsmanship between the two teams most of the time.
Yeah. And that's good. That's good to have, especially here at the CSP Spring Cup. Not only finding themselves in the finals, but especially with Marietta down 2, finding kind of different ways to combat this best of 7 finals here. Because you don't want to see reverse sweep, although possible, but you do want to keep that competitiveness alive. And if they're choosing Eichenwald, we're definitely going to see a mix-up here, as we did get a brief look, of course, at the hero pools with Trev Daddy on the Symmetra again, looking to bypass that first choke point, as we do see C4 Gamer and Shaken Dwarf on their respective McCree and Junkrat. Definitely looking for those window plays, and definitely looking to try and keep Harmful Hades in a good position where that shield doesn't break. But with that teleporter of Trev Daddy, they might not even have time, as that shield might just be automatically bypassed for a flanking position.
We already see Muskingum by the archway. That's going to be the big choke point for Marietta. The question is, can they get through this archway? So they're going to start seeing them working their way up. Harmful Hades has got this shield up, trying to protect, but can he keep that shield up? It's already got some cracks in it, so Marietta's going to have to find a way to break Rafam's shield.
And there is the car wash right away, as we see Harmful Hades locked in there. As Doc is able to take down Harmful Hades again, that shield just needs to stay up. I mean, you said it best here. With Rafam's shield not going down, they can actually build more ultimate. We already see 65% on Rafam right away. And if you are Marietta, you do have to retreat, but you also have to retreat knowing that you do not have the ulti build at the same level as Muskingum.
We already see Trev Daddy with his ult ready to go. Marietta's closest ult is window at 88%, although it's about to come online, but see if that's going to be enough to help Marietta push through this archway. There goes the window, but there's the barrier to counter it.
And Rafam taking down C4 Gamer, as well as taking D.Va out of the ultimate. And we do see a return pick here. Shaken Dwarf able to take down Trev Daddy, but Trev Daddy's car wash really putting in work at this archway. And that is something that is definitely going to be interesting to see. I do like the Tracer switch here. Not Tracer, it's Baby D.Va. I was just like, wait.
Yeah, it kind of looks
here?
like.
I was like, wait.
I was like, Brimstone on Tracer, wait! He's supposed to be tanking.
Yeah, but that's a grab coming out.
Dwarf is looking for the pick with the high noon. Does get Rafam though. So that might be Marietta's chance to push forward. But the back does get broken up, and Brimstone does get taken down by Doc. And Marietta's struggling to get through that archway.
They're not finding the picks they need, and more importantly, they're not finding the flanks. Shaken Dwarf or C4 Gamer, they do have the damage with that damage combo, but they're not being able to tear down this shield because they're afraid, which rightly so, of Doc's grab, which was used successfully here as the Nano Rafam comes in and starts tearing through Marietta.
You end up getting Rafam down, but at what cost? 3 of the Pioneers have already fallen to them. That's not the trade that you need if you want to try to get to the point. Already less than a minute and a half to go in the round.
They need to find a way to get ticks on that point. Regardless if they have a great defense, even getting that first tick is worth something. And we are seeing Brimstone almost with the D.Va ulti, but with the multiple different shields and walls that can be put up from Muskingum. Even once they have that, they need to be torn down, or at least blown before that happens. As Dragons does come through, just to get him out of the room.
And Muskingum pulls out the barrier, just once again to zone out Marietta.
Barrier, but at the same time, that opens Brimstone up for a good ultimate.
There comes the window. Neptune biding his time. Great patience.
Look at all this space they have now. That barrier is blown a little too soon.
Muskingum will pop Coalescence, but gets stunned in the process. There's the Diva Bomb. Does not catch him, but it does push Muskingum away. Shatter does come out. Immortality Field is down for Marietta, but does come down. Rafam falls, but so is Neptune. And Harmful Hades is going down, but it's just kind of going back and forth. But Marietta seems to be winning the fight.
And that's a really successful push. I think the biggest thing, and I repeated it, but I'm gonna say it again, Trev Daddy definitely used wall a little too soon. I think if they are backing up like that, even though they have a full 6 members, you definitely want to use that right before the push, so that all of the DPS characters have to actually push through the wall and get out of position. Marietta did a very good job of buying time, being patient, and then using the space that they needed, so Brimstone could start making more space and C4 Gamer could actually start getting picks. Very good as they move into their second push here. Brimstone being able to take down Slam Ducky, and this streets area really going well for Marietta right away.
The one thing Marietta has to be careful with is the clock. They already have less than 2 minutes because it took so long to get to that first point. They don't have a whole lot of time to get a second point. So Muskingum just needs to win a couple of team fights and they will be able to hold. But getting that kill onto Lava is exactly what Marietta needs.
And then that's another good wall built, but Jake and Dwarf being able to take down Brimstone, taking down Rafam, C4 Gamer just clearing. And at this point, they're not even looking for a stagger. They're trying to push this all the way, but they do need to be up there, as second point does favor the defenders a lot here, as spawn is very close. As long as they can either get through that little doorway, they are coming in. However, Muskingum does be able to start restabilizing the point.
He's catching one for the Shatter, taking down Rafam. There's the Dragons. Immortality Field will protect Marietta. Only Azadale falls to Doc. So, and Brimstone's trying to get into the front line, see if he can take down Lava. Getting a half health. Window's going to be coming out for Neptune. C4 Gamer does fall, but Brimstone's going to bring out the Diva Bomb. And it catches Lava. So he does get his target. But Harmful Haze is going to fall. Maybe, and
I think it's just at this point, there's 40 seconds left. This favors Shaken Dwarf actually able to take down Rafam, and that's what allows them to push the point. That is nonsense. That is crazy, because at the end of the day, Muskingum did have the stabilization, but I do want to give props to Neptune. Neptune was able to stay there, keep healing all of their tanks and restabilizing them, because at the end of the day, that's what kept that point there. And Marietta picking Eichenwald and meaning it as soon as they got past that first one.
That is one thing I have noticed with the team. Like, that first point is always the hard part, but once they get that, momentum just seems to swing in their favor. We're seeing the payload is already over halfway through this third leg. And we're seeing Shadow coming out, gets blocked.
Trev Daddy. You bet. You definitely, Trev Daddy's Junkrat has been seen a lot in this tournament. I think that's one of the most picked, probably along C4 Gamers Junkrat as well. But having that switch from Symmetra only happen now is crazy, because you feel like it could have been more useful during streets, having the Junkrat in there, and definitely not the Symmetra, but he might have been caught on a bad back, which allowed Marietta to have an even better push through streets, as there's only 60 seconds left on the clock. And as far as ultimates go, Marietta definitely has advantage.
And they are popping the window. The Rip Tower is ready whenever C4 Gamer wants to use it. And we're going to see Shadowbug come like. Shaken Dwarf does get taken out by Trev Daddy, though.
Shaken Dwarf will have to find time quickly to get here. As that tire, C4 Gamer takes down 3, and this is Marietta's time to push past this next corner. They do have 30 seconds left, which means a couple of more pushes, and only that. However, like we said, defensive spawn favors Muskingum here, and they are picking ball. As the grab comes in with another tire, that's a great beat. Double beat comes down. The point is cleared, but can Marietta stay on it, and it looks like they'll make it, but just there as the DB bomb comes down, 3 seconds on the clock. Let's see if they can hold.
Nickdorf tries to hold on, but I don't think anyone else can get there, but still getting all the way there with 3.5 meters away is pretty good, but I'm sure Marietta is kicking themselves because they're just so close to the end. But considering how things were going early in the round and they were just struggling to get to that first point, I mean, it's a really good turnaround, all things considered.
That it is, and I think at the end of the day, watching the complete stagnation of Marietta's offense on that first point and then watching them burst through the next two not only shows what a powerhouse team they are, but just with a little bit of momentum can contest with this undefeated Muskingum team.
And once Marietta gains momentum, it is hard to stop them. There have been several times where they've gotten to the payload at overtime, like in round 3s when they get into overtime, and they're able, I don't know how they pull this off, but they're able to take the payload from the first checkpoint all the way to the end while staying in overtime. It's like when the pressure's on the line, that is when they step up.
Exactly. And we are seeing Trev Daddy on another signature pick here. Starting with the Genji. The Genji is not only useful in flanks, but as the Shimada Bros comp with Slam Ducky and Trev Daddy comes in, there's not a lot of tools for the side other than Shaken Dwarf's McCree that can really combat this. They definitely need the Brigette if Trev Daddy becomes a problem as we enter in our second pause?
It technically second pause, because the other one was just a formality with the spectator. I'm not so sure what's going on with this one.
We will see. It's definitely not a switching computer problem. What might be just a mouse, player spills. We'll definitely see. But this is, some pauses are going to happen, especially in a championship game. And pauses, again, players need to find time to recenter themselves as the match has started. So making sure that both teams are ready to go as we get back right into it. We are seeing Marietta again, stable comp, same thing. It didn't work for them last time on the offensive push. Let's see if it works for them on this defensive. They're not holding the bridge, which is a good first choke. But if they can find the picks they need, it won't matter as they can seed back to the point.
There's the pick on Rafam, so that's Mariatta's opportunity to push forward. They're going to try to, they're pushing back to the archway.
That they are, and it will be another pick. Shaken Dwarf really finding themselves here, being able to find a lot of picks, not only very crucial in the offensive push, but actually being able to stop the defense or the offensive push from Muskingum just a little bit. Point one can be easily taken with one good ultimate push here, and with Doc at 69%, I'd say that is what it's going to be on as the wall comes out. Great great series of kills here though for Marietta, being able to clear and push back Muskingum on their second push.
And they're looking to get the stagger. They will get the stagger onto Slam Ducky. There's the gong for the team kill. But yeah, Mariatta's got to be careful though, because Genji is at 75% pretty much. Pink Brat's at 66. Muskingum is going to be looking for Grab Dragons. They're going to be looking for Nano Blade. Either one of those could be enough to take the point. So, is Marietta prepared for it? And are they anticipating it?
They should be, especially because C4 Gamer does have a tire, and that is why, you know, this is the thing. You can prepare as much as you want, but what stops a push? Damage. Damage stops a push, and just instant damage from C4 Gamer's tire. I think having a tire build up so fast, it does also give the rest of Marietta time just to sit and absorb their ultimates. But this is going to be the push. Without this tire, and Azazel having beads, we'll see what happens here. As that is good picks right away from Shaken Dwarf. That is a blade. Trip Daddy being able to get down Shaken Dwarf, being able to push this McCree back into their place, and that's a Nano Genji. Let's see what he does. That's 2 down from the blade. And the point is, not stabilizing here. Esdale being able to take down Green Plat from the healing counterpart, but no point has been taken as Rafam gets back on it. We will see if the tanks of Marietta can get back as the healers do get here as Widow comes out. Let's see if they can find that pick that they need, but Rafam being able to get through the back line here.
Yeah, unfortunately, Neptune got taken out just after he puts Window down, so Marietta was not able to get any value from it. Checkendorf is going to continue to try to contest the payload, and so is Asdale. They're just trying to buy time, eat up as much of the clock as possible, while Muskingum still technically hasn't gotten a tick yet at this point.
No, and that's what's crazy is the fact that Brimstone's still on the point and does have the Diva Bomb that they can actively use to make sure the rest of their team gets back to point. That's effective stalling for you.
Yeah, and with all that said, Marietta holds.
They do, and they hold, and more importantly, they hold and they get a good ultimate charge here. Rafam Slam Ducky is the next combo, and let's see if Marietta definitely has that on their mind, because if they don't, that is a great Shattered Dragons combo.
The C4 Gamer has Riptire, and it's going to be coming out. This could be huge. He does get the Ana, although he's going to end up falling to Rafam, so it's a 1-for-1, but Signdor does take out Slam Ducky. Doc's going to be trying to come in on the Diva. Coalescence coming out from behind by Lava. Trying to get some damage, take down Harmful Hades, but Brimstone does take on Rafam. And it's just back and forth. But can Marietta hold? We're at overtime. The blade does come out, but here comes the Diva Bomb.
Yeah, I think that's Muskingum as the dragons come from spawn. Marietta does find a way back. C4 Gamer not living long though, but you're right. They did manage to stall long enough to bring it to overtime. As we are seeing the beat come in.
And the Shatter. Marietta is popping everything to try to hold off Muskingum.
And I think those ults probably could have been used definitely on streets, but I think that is pretty valiant to try and hold that 1 point for as long as possible, as it's now 2 minutes in streets for Muskingum to try to push this payload. And with Marietta here, Neptune switching onto the Moira, C4 Gamer still should be able to find a lot of ult charge here as you are spamming grenades. But we'll definitely see as Trev Daddy's halfway to the ultimate. Cream can nano Rafam, and that very much could be the next play as they attempt to hold this second corner of streets.
Yeah, no, Marietta was definitely trying to go for the win in that first point. And there's the Shatter, catches one. But right now it's just a 1-for-1 trade and Diva Mechs being traded.
C4 Gamer does get Lava, but as the Nano Rhine gets torn down, it is going to be on Marietta to either stall as they're doing, or have this last hold here on point 2, because point 3 is pretty much an attacker's paradise if they can find picks, and that's something that Muskingum has been able to effectively do here, especially on this second point.
So Mariatta's going to be trying to get that final push before the payload. Diva Bomb is going to come out. Does catch one, and the Riptire also caught two, so Marietta is able to take down 3 from Muskingum, forcing him back.
And this is the hardest part of any push on streets, is not only is there a minute left for Muskingum, but they have to effectively get 1 to 2 pushes before they have to run back all the way to the end part of the point with their spawn basically halfway across the map. So they're already having a very good spawn time here. If they can get 1 or 2 picks, you're just dwindling the chances here for Muskingum to come back.
Yeah, Pulse Bomb comes out, doesn't catch anything. Diva Bomb's going to be coming out for Muskingum. It does catch Brimstone. Coalescence is going to be coming out for Neptune. Trying to see if they take down Rafam. Neptune does take down Trev Daddy, which is huge, but Rafam's getting a huge shatter onto Marietta. But actually, no, Neptune kind of faded away, but he still gets taken down. And there's Brimstone going to try to hold this payload. And Harmful Hades is there trying to contest. Once again, Mariatta's trying to go for the win. So we're overtime again. Marietta's trying to stagger in. But once again, Muskingum is able to hold on and get the next checkpoint.
That they do. This is going to be down to the wire here. As we are seeing, this is Junkrat's Paradise and the Shaken Dwarf on the McCree still. It will be Muskingum with the ult advantage, with only 1 beat to attempt to mitigate anything that Muskingum wants to do. Let's see if Marietta can hold, especially this last corner here, and that's a Nano Genji.
But the beat does come out in anticipation for it. Visor does come out as well from Muskingum. 2 for Marietta have fallen, 3 have fallen. And that might be enough. And yeah, that's going to be it for that round. I think they forgot to switch names. Muskingum won that one.
Yep. No, Muskingum did find the win here, and that's obviously setting them up for obviously the potential to get reverse sweep. But Trev Daddy switching to that Junkrat, even on attack, finding a really good play here. I think could be contested by C4 Gamer, having quite a few good tires that game. However, there's a lot of great things. Like Marietta is right on that edge, right? And as we're looking at this first to 4, best to 7, really want to see how they're going to try and take, one map away. Because if they can do that, they can start a snowball.
Yep. Trying to get a couple things set up with the overlay here. Just give me 1 second. But
no worries.
All right.
As we're looking into the next map,
there we go.
Finding Route 66, maybe?
Well, I think
we go back. I think we...
That's it. Control, Escort, Hybrid...
We go to 2CP, don't we?
2CP.
Yep. And that is Anubis, that is Volskaya, and I don't believe Paris is in the rotation.
No, it's Hanamura would be the other one.
Hanamura, yep. No one likes Paris, and for good reason.
Oh, yeah. I can't count how many times we practice and then Paris pops up and it's like, no, we're just bailing.
Oh,
no,
yeah, we're just not going to do that. No. And as we move into it, big thing is, it is Volskaya, as we see that from Marietta here. Volskaya is a really fun map. Volskaya historically has been fun because there has been record amount of, like, the longest Overwatch game held was on Volskaya before they changed it to a tiebreaker system or a full tie system. Thankfully, I don't think we have that here. So maps could theoretically go on, but we could still find a tie depending on the settings. But Volskaya is, if you take first point, that is almost expected for attackers. First point's very much a how long can you stall if you're on the defense, which is why people kind of dislike 2CP.
Yeah, I'm kind of glad that we're not going to really see that in Overwatch 2, because it was definitely not, it's never been very a popular game choice. So the fact that Blizzard is going to be kind of taken out of the competitive play style is...
No, it's definitely something that I'm excited to see as we move forward, especially with a potential new mode for competitive in Overwatch 2. But right now, 2CP is whoever can really just push the shield. If we're seeing both Reinhardts and a lack of variety of tank matchups, I think we've had a couple switches to D.Va, a couple on Zarya, but it's really just who can have that hold better. And we've definitely seen teams in this tournament, go with the Sigma Roadhog. We've seen teams that have even pulled out an Orisa just to be able to try and hold this 2CP as best as possible. And so at the end of the day, it is, again, who can take things the fastest, but it's who can manage that. Volskaya is a really good Doomfist map, right? It's still a very good Zarya map, so Doc should have a really fun time. However, that being said, it's still a good Junkrat map as well for C4 Gamer. I'd like to say that, Azadale's putting in work, finding the beats, finding the time to use them, and making sure to have effective stalls as well. And more importantly, more than once, we've seen kind of the support to support matchup here, as Azadale and Neptune being able to take down the Queen Pratt and Lava. Not as consistency as they'd like their DPS to, but really definitely winning that battle as it comes. And so that's something that if Marietta wants to continue, along with kind of positioning their tanks to find space, they should be able to come out victorious on Volskaya, because it is just that one extra thing that we need to see from the Pioneers here to take a win over the Muskies and potentially start this reverse sweep.
Yeah, we're just getting a couple things clarified before we get started here, so I'm checking a few things in the Discord.
Yep, I think we're waiting for Muskingum right away.
Yeah. Yeah, just trying to clarify that it is a best of 7.
Mm-hmm. It is. It's definitely a best of 7. As we move in the final game, first team to 4. But what would you say is the what's in your MVP player contention here for these first 3 maps so far?
Well, from Muskingum side, I think it'd be obvious that it would probably go to Trev Daddy just with his performance and setting up the plays and being able to coordinate the ults. Yeah, I mean he's a phenomenal player for Muskingum, and he's definitely the shot caller and the leader of the team, and we're seeing how well that's paying off. So then,
exactly.
Now I think we're just about to get started. So the question now is, how can Marietta adjust? So right now their backs are at the wall. We are at match point. Muskingum just needs to win this map, and they win the championship. And they've had some really good. They've had some good fights. They've had some wins, but just kind of fallen short every single time. So can they dig down and get that extra oomph they need to not only take a couple fights here, but take more fights and see if they can get this map and get the next map and see if that reverse sweep can be a reality.
And I definitely think it can. I think the biggest struggle they have to face is they have to face up to this tank's positioning, whether that's a tank switch, whether that's playing corners better or breaking shield down more. They know that Rafam is not switching off that Reinhardt. And if it does, it's because they have to get back to the point quickly. But Doc has been usually the one to do that with the ball. As a good off-tank player, I think the heavy reliance on Rafam, if they can shut down that tank, I think I think Marietta can start taking maps one by one. And so let's see if that happens. Shaken Dwarf, again, back on the McCree, C4 Gamer on the Junkrat. There's definitely a lot of good corners, a lot of good shield break here. But let's see how Muskingum finds their way through this map as they're on defense. If they can get a successful hold here, that puts a lot of nails in some coffins. But if they don't, it definitely opens up for that reverse sweep, as the first point is almost expected on Volskaya for both attacking sides.
Yeah, so the question is, how long is it going to take for Marietta to get that first point? If they can get it early on, then that's going to give them a good advantage of trying to take the second point. If it goes all the way to overtime, then it's going to be a struggle for Marietta to get that second point.
And with the Slam Ducky on the Hanzo, Trev Daddy on the contesting Junkrat here, it will be who can find, more importantly, those first round of ults. And we've definitely seen Muskingum build ups a little faster, but Marietta's done a really good job of absorbing that first ult build, especially as we saw in Ike Mold right away. As they begin to start pushing through, it will be using the room a little bit to advantage with Doc on the high ground. Trev Daddy is able to pick off Neptune and down a healer and down a DPS player. They might have to retreat here and wait for those players to return.
Yeah, the problem is they're split. So I think Shaken Dwarf just got a little too far ahead of Harmful Hades, and Muskingum punished him for that. He was ahead of the Reinhardt shield. But now with Marietta split, it's going to be hard for the down players to try to get back to the groups, and Marietta's going to have to try to retreat around. They're taking damage that's giving Muskingum a chance to charge up their ults even more.
Slam Ducky picking up C4 Gamer. Slam Ducky picking up Azadale. That's just another stall here. As all of these ults start getting built up, Trev Daddy and Slam Ducky having 80% respectively does give this first push a lot of pushback here, because when you were playing in the attacking side, you do want to be able to push those ultimates as fast as possible, and not being able to do this as Marietta does take at least a minute and a half off the clock for them, unless they're able to absorb these ults fairly well, as Rafam takes down Azadale with the flame strike.
And that's not what Marietta needs. Just already down one person. They can't really press forward.
And it is definitely interesting because the shield is blocking a lot, but what Musking wants to do now is they want to just start building up the rest of their ults and actually start going on the offensive and seeing if they can start picking them as time goes down. The more Marietta waits, the easier it is for this one ult barrage from Muskingum to do its work. And these flame strikes are just coming in. Rafam already has shatters. The dragons go in the room.
The tire coming out for Trep Daddy, trying to see if he can cut off Marietta. Window's going to be coming for Neptune, and Shegdor does get taken down. Lava's going to take down Harmful Haste. That's 2 already down for Marietta. Trep Daddy's going to try to clean up the rest. G4 Gamer does get a kill, but it's not going to be enough.
Yeah, and that is kind of what we're talking about when we're talking about building ults and then staggering them. Muskingum did a really good job of saying, hey, when on your next push, it's going to be up to Marietta to start using these ults. And not only were they not able to build them, but they weren't able to even start using anything to counteract Muskingum's defense here, as Queen Pratt and Lava do have the window and the nano respectively. Doc has grab, and that's definitely going to be used in this next minute and a half as Marietta starts their third push here.
See the grab coming up. Here's the beat for Asdale. Takeover does get a pick though, but From's going to take one down. But C4 Gamer's getting 2 picks. That's Marietta's opportunity to get onto the platform.
They definitely, again, like you said, it's not when you're going to get there. Trip Daddy on the backline though can start getting more picks if they can build up that tire, and they are taken out by C4 Gamer, however, but they will have tire for the next push. And like you said before, it's not if they'll get the first point, it's when, and they did take a good chunk of the clock to do it. So let's see if Muskingum looking to contest. They aren't. They're looking to just spam, and they do still have tire and nano ready, as Doc's grab did not find purchase to stop Marietta's push.
You see Marietta has their tire ready, and they do get a pick on the Slam Donkey, so that's going to be the opportunity to go. Diva Bomb is about ready to come online, and so is Window. There's the tire for C4 Gamer, and it catches 2. And Grafam got nano, and he got taken down. Immortality Field comes down. Trevor takes 2 of his own, but Marietta's already on the point, taking 1 tick. A huge shatter by Harmful Haste to take down Slam Donkey. And Marietta is just...
Trep Daddy is staying on point, not allowing any push to happen here, and with the defenders of so close to the point, they will be able to stabilize here. But that's 2 ticks for Marietta.
That's a huge push with just using a few ults. They didn't even use Diva Bomb with that. So Brimstone's going to be coming back and see that Diva Bomb can try to get some space.
How long is Harmful Hades been at this point?
A while.
Oh, but Shaken Dwarf used ultimate. They were able to get Lava, however, but we want to be able to save those for those crucial moments.
Yeah, that might have been a little premature just because of the respawn. It's not going to take much for Lava to get back to the fight.
No, it won't. And here we are, about 2 minutes in. Marietta has 2 ticks. They're looking for one more successful push. Slam Donkey does have dragons, but you kind of want to place in a corner of a point, especially when the team is taking it, using very defensively as a zoning tool. Doc on this ball. It switched off Azari, which could actually benefit Marietta, as those grabs won't be a problem, especially on this high ground.
Dragons really coming out. Mariatta's going to be able to get away from it, though. Rafam's going to try to get from behind to see if he can catch him. Harmful Hades is very low in health. He's antied as well, but he is going to... Well, it wasn't until the Rip Tire.
Yeah. And Rafam being able to find Brimstone after the D-Mech. Trep Daddy, those are 2 crucial picks that were successful on the defense. And with a minute left, we do have mines coming up for Doc, but the ult advantage does favor Harmful Hades, Azadale, and C4 Gamer, along with Shaken Dwarf, building up the high noon yet again. They have at least 2 more pushes in there, but let's see if they can find that extra tick. And more importantly, find the positioning. I think the tank positioning is doing a lot better this game for the side of Marietta.
See, they are trying to push forward. There's the mines. The shatter does come out, but not a lot of value from it.
It will be Azadale. If Azadale can get around the team, actually we can stop this first push and reset for the next one. Harmful Hades going down. If this dagger successfully comes out, it's definitely going to be rough for Marietta, as they have 29 seconds to get back. And if you're Muskingum, you either make one of 2 decisions here. You push up as much as possible, knowing you don't have the ults for the play, just to try and find a pick and make it almost impossible for Marietta to go, or you stay back and wait for this push and wait for overtime, which looks like that is the play here.
Marietta's got 10 seconds. They got to get into the point now. They have 3 ults. There's Deadeye. There's Window.
But they're on the point. Hades was able to get there. and that high noon is able to be successfully avoided, but Shaken Dwarf able to take down Rafam here, and that beat from Brimstone should be able to have them take the point unless Doc can stay on it. This point is ticking.
Yeah, just Doc is all left, so they just gotta take him down, because right now Doc is just stalling for Muskingum, but
switching to Lucio, not gonna be enough. And that is a successful 2-point take all the way to overtime for Marietta. I think a really good offense.
Yeah, they struggled early on, but they eventually got to the point. They got their composure back together. I cannot talk anymore. What am I doing? I've been teaching all day. No. So they got their composure back in set ever since they took that first point, and they were just able to build the momentum from there. It's just one of those things with Marietta. If you give them an inch, they will take a mile. And that's exactly what happened there.
That it is. And I think a big part of, keeping the dream alive from Marietta is finding a good defensive comp to find that stall. It will be Trev Daddy on the May, which can be proven useful in a comp that's looking to take this first point, but also you can keep the May for point 2. When you want to pick a May on Volskaya is being able to build up freeze so that when you take this first point, you have freeze to automatically set it on the point, drop it down on point 2, and then start that potential clear. We'll see if that's how Trev Daddy uses it, as we do see C4 Gamer still on the Junkrat, and Shaken Dwarf on the McCree, which should do well against the May theoretically, but Trev Daddy is a very good player. So let's see how Marietta plays around this May, and if they even force that first choke or resign to stay back on point, which worked well on the Eichenwald map.
Yeah, so C4 Gamer and Shaken Dwarf are kind of way back there, trying to use the high ground to see if they can get some good visual from this game. We see Brimstone on the other side, just trying to use the terrain to their advantage. But it looks like they're okay with fighting at the control point.
In like this denies Muskingum all of that, first choke ult charge. As long as, of course, they don't give up too much ground at the end of the day and start giving up points.
You see Muskingum trying to push forward, but Marietta is pushing back, getting huge pick onto Slam Dunk. The immortality field does come out. They get Rafam down as well. Trev Daddy is falling, and Marietta will just clean up Muskingum, forcing them back to their spawn.
And this is kind of, as long as they're forcing them back, they're not, staggering the deaths here. As Lava does go down, that is a good boot from Ezadale. And definitely, like we said kind of in pregame, the supports are definitely putting in work for Marietta. And I definitely contention for players of the game, if not C4 Gamer on this Junkrat spamming into this choke. And this is why they play back, right? You don't want Muskingum to build ults, because it is a minute and a half into the game, and Rafam only has 31% of ults as they look for the high ground on the left-hand side here.
Yeah, we see C4 Gamer already has Riptire ready to go. Neptune's got the window, so we'll see if they utilize either one of those in this fight. Muskingum's now going to use the high ground to their advantage. There's the Riptire from C4 Gamer trying to get him from behind. Does catch Slam Dunky. And Shaken Dwarf takes down Doc, but Rafam will take down Azadale, so it's a 2-for-1 in favor of Marietta right now. Muskingum's going to try to get him to the point. Rafam gets nanoed. And there's going to be the beat coming out, but Window's coming out from Neptune. Blizzard's going to be coming out.
And I think that's Muskingum doing a really good job with the push. Shaken Dwarf able to take down Trev Daddy, but it might not be enough to stall the point. Azadale's back, doing their best. That's a good shatter onto the Diva, and this is the stall that Marietta needs to survive. Because if they're willing to take extra minutes using the immortality field, they're going to take it off of Muskingum and hopefully ease another .2 advantage their way.
I think Marietta is conceding at this point, knowing that Muskingum is going to take it. They're not too far away, though, so I think they're going to try to buy some... Never mind, I spoke too soon. They're going to try to contest.
They do have a little bit of contention, but because they halfway wiped here, the gusto's there, but now Muskingum, they just have to run to the point. As quick spawns are on, however, we are seeing a frantic Marietta come back and start building up those ults yet again. Good shatter from Hades.
Yeah, they caught 4, but not any follow-up with that. It just kind of slowed a little bit. He is coming out. Reform is nanoed. But now it's a 1-for-1 trade. C4 Gamer does take down Slam Ducky, and the window is coming out for Neptune, trying to break that shield. Reform does take him out. There's the Blizzard. And it's going to freeze Neptune and C4 Gamer. Trev Daddy's going to pick off both of them.
But Shakendorf is able to take down Trev Daddy, and Azadale again taking down Queen Pratt, and that's a successful hold from Marietta. All of that carnage, all of those ults used, it will now be down to how well can you hold. And now it's Muskingum with the ultimate priority here. Slam Dunky and Rafam and Doc are not only at ults, but very close. Shakendorf having to have a very good counter Deadeye here if they're looking to get past this push.
Yeah, I mean, the win condition is set for this map. If Marietta can hold this, then we will go to a map 5. There's the Diva Bomb.
Not getting anything. And a missed shatter here from Rafam. But that is a great purple from Queen. As the healers can't keep it up, it is a shaken dwarf being able to take down Lava. And that's another successful hold here from Marietta.
Yeah, Muskingum popped a couple of their ults, but just was not enough. But yeah, Marietta is holding. They know what's at stake. Now, granted, if Muskingum takes this, there is another round. But Marietta doesn't want that. They want to take this map. They want to keep going on. They want that reverse sweep. And they know it can happen. They just have to hang on. That oomph that we're talking about right before this map. And we're seeing them dig down and hanging on and giving it everything they got.
Yep, there's 2 minutes left though, and that's a lot of time for a lot of ult charges. Slam Ducky has been holding onto those dragons for a while. Obviously not when getting swallowed by Brimstone, wanting to be able to put it on the corner here. And there they are. Ooh.
See the
Slam
one
Ducky being taken out, Flame Strike taking out Rafam, and again, that tank matchup as we were talking about before, definitely favoring the side of Hades here. Rafam not being able to find that position on Volskaya as they had on all of the other 3 successful maps. I do want to remind everyone here that Marietta has competed in all of the 3 maps that they have been playing in. I think Volskaya not only favors their playstyle in a nice confined space, but they're starting to adapt. They're starting to adjust to Rafam's Reinhardt-only play. And as Queen Pratt and Lava have the ultimates here, they are combated by a Diva Bomb, a Window, a Beat, and harmful Hades Shatter with a minute left on the clock.
And Deadeye's about ready to come up too. So if Marietta can manage their ult economy wisely, they would have the advantage. We're seeing ults being used all over. Everyone pressed Q.
Yep, C4 Gamer able to take down Trev Daddy, however, and that might be the play here because Trev Daddy, not only the heart and soul of this Muskingum team, but actively being able to do damage is what's going to get you points. And we are seeing Marietta clean up with only 45 seconds left on the clock. Doc will have a death timer now, with Slam Ducky actually building dragons again. Rafam being able to grab that shatter, the support ultimate's down, but there's only one person on Marietta that is close to ult, and Trev Daddy just took him out right away, finding that pick. Even though you have a defense spawn timer, Trev Daddy has switched to that Junkrat and is trying to do work.
Here we see Muskingum is trying to do one final push to see if they can get to the payload, or not the payload, but the control point. Shadow comes out for Rafam. Only catches harmful Hades. Muskingum is winning the fight. The tire is going to be coming out, but it gets taken out quickly by Rafam. And now it's up to Marietta to try to stall and get back onto the point. Otherwise, we're going to see a round 3.
I think Azadale might be able to come back, but we need to see these tanks get on the point here. It will be Neptune bouncing up and down almost consistently, but it's just not enough. And just barely, as the timer switched to 1 minute each. Muskingum being able to take a bad situation and turn it on its head with just a little bit of aggression from Trev Daddy being able to catch out C4 Gamer, finding that extra push and moving us to a very quick attack and defense for the Pioneers here.
Yes, I think really it came down to the fact that Marietta used all 4 of their ults in the penultimate fight. And it was just a little overkill. I know they were trying to guarantee that they win the fight, but they had no gas left in the tank for that final push by Muskingum.
Ready for battle.
Yeah, and the only thing they would have had would be a potential tire, and seeing C4 Gamer get picked right away definitely sealed the deal. However, looking at this, it is going to be Muskingum on defense, they did a very good hold, definitely for longer than a minute the last time they were on defense. And so we are going to see same lineup, same powerhouse, but I think just a little bit more confidence here as the May for Trev Daddy stays. If they can find a good like Lucio push right away, I think this is a pretty easy take. On these types of points and these types of situations, you need to be able to take as much of this point as possible. That's what Marietta wants to do.
Yeah, Trev Daddy's looking to use that wall to try to zone out a frontliner and have Muskingum just completely go all in that person and pick off one player. So Marietta has to be aware of that and just make sure that they don't get too far ahead of their tank and make sure they don't get walled off.
Yep, and they were not able to be walled off, and Harvard Ladies takes down Rafam, and that's the tank push that they need right here as the Immortality field comes down. We are seeing Rafam come back, Slam Donkey going down, Trev Daddy going down, and this is exactly what you want to see if you're Marietta fan here, because guess what? This point is theirs. And this is normally how I'd say in like ranked games, a point push would work. You take a very good speed boost from a Lucio, such as Azadale did. And now with this first push, they are able to go and try and get the second point. And some of them are going to have to creep up here because there's only 30 seconds left. That's time for one push, and they definitely have, they'll definitely be the team that builds ultimates as Rafam is only at 18%.
They are using the Lucio, the speed boost right onto the point, so they should be able to get into the problem. Window is already ready, being used by Neptune, and C4 Games taking out Pop. Rock gets a huge pick, already 2 down. Dead Eye's coming out. Another pick. This is insane.
Yeah, Marietta's definitely on the point, taking one tick, and definitely useful here. If they can take down Slam Ducky, they should be able to start building up second point, but the Diva switch from Doc being able to be pushed back here, and with all of these fast heroes coming on the point for Muskingum, it will be up to just discipline to see if Marietta can start taking the rest of this point, and it looks like they will if they can find all of these stragglers in time.
Just gotta take out the Tracer, and Marietta secures it.
Wonderful. So big part of Marietta's push there was being able to take down Rafam. Once that tank went down, something they've done very well on Volskaya, something they were able to start doing, and I think again it is trying to find those matchups, understanding how Rafam hugs corners, and more importantly being able to break shield. They've done definitely a very just vastly improvement from the Pioneer side here, being able to take down Rafam's shield, and knowing that it doesn't matter how good Trev Daddy has been all tournament, if you can start taking tanks down immediately at the drop of the hat, you're going to be set up for a very good defense here, which if Marietta can hold this point, they've taken a map and they've started their reverse sweep.
And that may be the momentum that Marietta would need to try to carry through this series. We may be here for a long night if Marietta keeps this up, but I'm perfectly fine with it. My first class is not until 10 a.m., so I'm good.
There you go. As we move into this, it's still, again, very possible that Muskingum could find the exact same success as Marietta, and that, I think, would bring us to a tie, but we'll definitely see if that happens, as we are seeing Marietta stay back just like they had success on right away on being able to have a stall. And remember, it's only a minute stall as Trev Daddy switches to the Genji, looking to find picks and looking to find them quick, especially on Azadale, who's done a great job on this map.
Yeah, it's actually an interesting point you bring up. So no matter what happens with this map, there will be another map, because worst case scenario for Marietta is it will be a draw, but Marietta doesn't want that. They want a win. They want to be able to get one on the board and try to work their way back.
Oh, Doc's able to take down Harmful Hades. And that almost might seal the deal. Slam Ducky goes down, Green Crack goes down, and C4 Gamer is able to take down Rafam. As long as they can start clearing the point with Doc here, it will be one more push. The rest of Muskingum has to get back to team because they can't be on this point. And with that successful stall, that's 10 seconds left for Doc to not only get respawned, but also get back to the point.
Yeah.
Oh, Marietta definitely needs to get all of their stuff in gear. Neptune will have wall.
Muskingum is going to try to get back onto the point. If Marietta can hold this, they will take the map.
And this is all under pressure here. However, that Immortality Field didn't get any slam dunk. He's able to take down Harmful Hades. Lava goes down, however, taking down the healers down to 2 here. And it's just back and forth. Princeton taking down Rapalm, Shakendorf getting low. But will he be able to take that? The point is ticking over to Muskingum. Trev Daddy taking out 2, though, and being able to go grab another. Might be able to seal the steal for Muskingum, but they did have to go to overtime. Unless one of them gets off the point, we are seeing the stall come in from Neptune. Not a frog in support, but definitely bouncing around the point, keeping this overtime stalled. And we're definitely going to see, the Winston come in just to stall for a little bit longer.
Yeah, Marietta's trying to go for the win, but I mean, the overtime doesn't really matter at this point, because even if Muskingum takes it, they're still going to be, what, 30 seconds? So really, they need the retreat and maybe fall back. Just that way they can reset and be ready for another fight, because that's just giving Muskingum all charge.
True, but they also have, I don't think they'll have a quick spawn here. No, they do. Harmful Hades is back on the Reinhardt as the push is coming in from Muskingum. Not wanting to go down a map, only 17 seconds left. Azadale playing Reddit Lucio. The tire comes down, however, waiting out the tire. And that's a ultimate here. The Nanoblade taking down 2, 3. And that's a great Diva Bomb from Pratt. Now, the grab from Doc is going to catch the rest of Marietta's players here. Let's see if the spawn will help for Marietta, because that is what they need.
Right now, Marietta's just staggering, but they gotta find the picks they needed. And with Trev Daddy still there, it's gonna be a huge threat. Beat's gonna be coming out by Azadale.
Beat, though. Again, you just want to stabilize this point. Rafam on the ball, finally switching off of a Reinhardt play here. And as long as Marietta can stabilize with a Nano on the ball, but he's been trapped on the point, Marietta just has to start melting targets. You call a target, you focus it, and you keep going. And as Rafam goes down, that is one less tank to worry about. Slam Dunk able to take down Zdale, but Doc is able to take down Shaken Dwarf, and it's this damage trading. Doc being able to beef at such a high charge is definitely going to be a problem. Able to drop that ult yet again. And with Trev Daddy on this Tracer, he's the one that is attempting to stop this push here, and it will.
Victory.
Be a Marietta win.
Wow, I lost track of everything that was going on. They're just left and right, but Marietta just hangs on just enough. That was that oomph we were talking about earlier. They dug deep, they hung in there, and they take a map off of Muskingum.
And Muskingum was only dropped, I believe, less maps. I think you can count on one hand how many maps Marietta has dropped this tournament. Muskingum dropped this tournament. Marietta has been able to do that not only when demanded of them, but been able to actively, exploit some weaknesses in Muskingum's armor here as we look to go to, what is this, game 6?
5.
5, yep.
Yes. Yeah, it's still match point for Muskingum, but we're seeing that momentum starting to swing in Marietta's favor. The reverse sweep is alive.
It is. And as we move in here, it will be, we might see a varied map selection here, as I don't believe we are going to, I think we could potentially see King's Row here.
Well, I think,
let me get here.
Double checking what
no,
the
2CP is control. It goes right back to control. So we probably won't see Nepal again.
Yeah, so it's control. It wouldn't be. Yeah, it has to be anything other than what was picked, and Muskingum gets to decide this time.
That they do, and Oasis I think has been a very good map this tournament for Muskingum. I'd be surprised if they don't pick that. However, there is still. It's not Nepal. It's not Oasis. It's Ilios. And Ilios is a sniper's map. It's also a Pharos map and sometimes a Roadhog map. And so definitely playing into both teams' favor. But it will be Legion Tower, I believe.
Yep, that is what's been selected. Yeah,
which is, I think it plays well for the Reinhardt play, but the one team that brings out a ball, especially on, I believe, not Market, but the tower portion of Lijiang Tower. That is definitely the play. Since I haven't seen both teams run Skies, no Echo, no Pharah, it is definitely, we know what Marietta wants to do, right? They're going to play Junk, they're going to play Hanzo, but if Muskingum can switch it up just a little bit, provide a different look, they can definitely take the crown here. But if they stay the same, I think Marietta has them on lock, and that must be scary for Trev Daddy, who's been the one that has been constantly, other than Doc, being able to switch for Muskingum. And that is the play here as we move to the next map. God, that Volskaya map was something.
Yeah, it was down to the wire. That's what you want to see in a championship match like this.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah. Now, I know with Muskingum's comp, they usually don't run something like a pharmacy or an echo or anything like that.
No, they don't. I think that might be the thing that puts them over the edge. If that's something they have in their back pocket and haven't been able to bring out, they'd definitely be good to bring out now.
All right, so it looks like ready checks are coming in. Muskingum is ready, so we'll see. It looks like Marietta is going to be ready.
Yes,
go.
We move in. No, I think it is. It might have rattled. Muskingum as we get into control center here. To not only have a map taken like that, but really just taking down their entire front line. I'm very excited to see how they change that up. This looks pretty brawly though, so I wouldn't imagine Rafam switching off of Ryan. But if Marietta can really just burn shield front to back effectively, as we've said all night, they definitely have a shot of not only taking this point for themselves, but keeping it and stabilizing it, as Slam Ducky on the Torbjorn and Trev Daddy on the Symmetra. And we are seeing another Symmetra here come out from Shaken Dwarf. Really good sim map, especially for the shield, as Slam Ducky switches back to Hanzo. Maybe just using Torbjorn to shoot a basket in spawn.
Yeah, I think this is going to be really come down to the dueling Symmetras. But just to give a little history, I mean, not only are Marietta and Muskingum rivals in OAC, but the fact that these two schools have played against each other 4 times this semester in just Overwatch alone. And in the first 3, Muskingum has won 3-0. So this is that last map is the first time that Marietta has taken a map on Muskingum. So it's a really question about how can Marietta keep up that momentum.
And that's what they're doing. Again, if you can break that shield, as Rafam is able to successfully charge, but Doc goes down, Rafam goes down, and this is Marietta's time to start taking this point and start going hard in the paint. Neptune able to take down Slam Ducky. It's not often you see supports taking down DPS players, but that first point, that first take, will go to Marietta.
I do have to brag a little bit about our supports. They are superb players.
They are incredible. Please brag away as the car wash begins to start up. Again, breaking that shield is the one thing that they're going to have to do. But they are allowing Muskingum to start getting on the point. Neptune taking down Rafam taking down Shaken Dwarf. And Muskingum does have point prior. Ezreal being able to take down Trev Daddy, and that is something that is needed, not being able to take the point. However, Slam Ducky is able to take down C4 Gamer, and that damage is going to be sorely missed as a good purple coming in from Queen Brand, who's also built up their nano. This is going to be a semi-quick take right away for Muskingum, as they do manage to take the point and take down Brimstone out of the mech. Lava also able to take down Shaken Dwarf, but Rafam using Shatter, I think, a little bit early.
Yeah,
I definitely could have utilized that later in the fight.
I don't know if that was a misclick or he maybe saw something and reacted, but yeah, there was no one even close to that, but that's going to be an opportunity that Marietta hopefully can take advantage of.
That they can, and there is that wall. Looking to stay between the walls here. Doc taking down the grab, but the Immortality Field will keep Marietta alive. And Rafam not being able to find the charge, but able to take down C4 Gamer. Harmful Haters taking down Rafam, and that is a Diva Bomb sitting in the middle. really just making spaces. That's a good shatter, but that gets pooped away. Harmful Hades not being able to find his Slam Donkey going down to the corresponding DPS. Doc being able to take down Harmful Hades, but this is Marietta's point to take it. Let's see if they do it as the wall comes out.
They did take down Trev Daddy. Now they're trying to focus on Lava taking him down. Lava does take out the Diva mech though. Right now, Muskingum is still
really
holding.
Just a contestation of point because Marietta does have spawn here. It will be those dragons being able to separate them and just keep points ticking up for Muskingum.
So despite the fact that Marietta was winning the fight early on, Muskingum has gotten back and they've ultimately won it or still able to hold points at 68%. Marietta's going to have to come up with another strategy to try to retake this point. They may only have enough time for one more fight.
They have to switch off that sim. The sim does do damage, and I agree, but when you have to retake a point, you need to find another change. You need to find a different switch up here because they're not building ults fast enough, and while they do have the wall here, it might just be successful enough not to teleport right until the pressing Muskingum. But they will have ults here. Trev Daddy able to put down the wall, and with that beat, Muskingum says it stops right here.
Although Marietta's back at the point, and they're going to try to retake it, and they do! They see... Yeah.
What the heck is C9?
Yeah.
That's Muskingum being able to find everyone up front, but does lose a little bit of that point capping power. Is able to successfully take it back here. We'll see. Marietta can grab it. Oh,
well, Muskingum kind of grabbed it first.
Yeah. And I mean, I think that's a really good point take. I think it's rough to see if you're a Pioneer fan here. Marietta not being able to hold the point, but again, that's one map out of 3 here on Control, needing to take this next 2 to stay alive and keep the reverse sweep dreams held. As Shaken Dwarf is still in Symmetra. I expect a little switch though. Sim's good on this map, allows for successful positioning. But we are seeing Neptune switch off the Baptiste and go to the Moira because there's a lot of coalescence lanes for them to move into. As we start, let's see here the Battle of the Symmetras. And, you know, I don't think Slam Ducky knows any other character. I think Hanzo's his one true love.
In a game like this, that's perfectly fine. They both use teleport to get in, so the fight's already onto the control point.
That it is, and fighting on the point before it unlocks is great because you can establish point superiority here. Rafam is able to take down Brimstone's Diva Mech, but Doc goes down, and that is a large backbone here. So does Rafam, and again, that first push is going the side of Marietta here. Diva being able to get back in their mech, and the point is starting to slowly be taken. Will they take down the Symmetra teleporter, though? Or are they gonna wait for them?
I think they're gonna let the turret do the work.
Yeah, you just slowly build that ult charge, which Shaken Dwarf has done. 74%. Neptune does have the coalescence as well, and Trev Daddy being able to throw up a wall for this next push might be the extra shielding that Rafam needs.
Marietta's gonna be rotating into the barrier. See, we're getting a huge pick. So it's a 2-for-1. Shattered by Rafam though, catches Harmful Hades, gonna pin him to the wall, takes him out.
Slam Donkey going down. This is even trade so far. Rafam going down as well. And I think there should be a decent hold here for Marietta because they are able to get back, especially with the speed of C4 Gamer and Azadale here.
Well, also the fact that the teleporter is still up for Marietta, so they were able to take advantage of that to get to the point sooner. Meanwhile, I don't see the teleporter out for Trev Daddy.
No, I think they're just keeping Trev Daddy for the wall here. And speaking of the wall here, the beat goes down for Lava, but Rafam goes down again. Rafam losing a lot of the lessons they've had early on in the game, but that's Dragons coming out from Slam Donkey, but they're not going to hit anything. Slam Donkey does able to pick off C4 Gamer, and Queen Pratt has been knocked down. Harmful Hades being able to take down Slam Donkey, and this is a successful hold again for Marietta, as C4 Gamer will come back on that Junkrat, building that tire as quick as possible. And we are seeing Trev Daddy switch to the Junkrat, and Slam Donkey on the Torbjorn, looking for to give Marietta a different look as they approach this point from the right-hand side. No teleporter in sight, and they will start fighting front to back.
Diva's going to be coming out by Brimstone, trying to catch anyone. Does catch Rafam, and the beat's going to come out for Marietta early on. There's the coalescence by Neptune. There's the grab by Doc. And Marietta's holding once again. It's already an overtime. And Marietta will secure the map, or the round, sorry.
No, they do, and guess what? That is just one little point away here from moving to 2-3 on this best of 7. Marietta here in Market Square, notably named for the square market we see here in the center. But the big part about this is I think the switches coming in. I think like Shaken Dwarf I was a little on the fence about in Control Center, but that's Symmetra really putting in work, really finding those teleports and making sure to keep that teleporter alive for just some quick returns. I also think Neptune's switch on Moira has kept their tanks alive and will continue to do so as well. And not many compliments to give to a lot of D.Va players, but Brimstone is able to stay alive a lot longer, and I think we're going to continue to see that as both teleporters get them onto the point as quickly as they can.
I think Marietta got there slightly first, and we already see a quick pick onto Queen Pride and Slam Donkey. Although Trev Daddy does take down C4 Gamer.
Just charging in, he's definitely going to get picked here, and that's the drawback here is like, you know, as soon as that first pick goes down, unless you can find a couple of quick counter picks, that point is going over to your opponent. And Muskingum will have their teleporter destroyed. There's actually a lot of good reason to kind of keep that up until that last moment when someone's going to teleport in. However, having point priority is definitely needed. Slam Donkey switched off of Hanzo to go on that Torbjorn. Not finding a lot of success here as the teleport's used again for Muskingum. Finding Shaken Dwarf, but those picks are coming back and forth for both sides. However, Marietta being able to find a majority of those picks and a lot of ults here, other than for Lava and Trev Daddy, are being built up primarily in Marietta's favor here, as they do have the higher impactful ults for Harmful Hated Shatter and C4 Gamer's Tire. With Trev Daddy and Doc and Rafam slowly building up here, ults up here, it will kind of be the make or break time for this push, as 42 has already been built for Marietta.
Some barriers ready for Muskingum, and they're going to use it. Tyra's going to be coming out for C4 Gamer, though, to see if it catches anyone with it. But he ends up going down. Shatter's going to catch Brimstone.
It will, and the Tire will die with it, but that's another wall being put up by Shaken Dwarf, and that is 3 picks, 4 picks. Shaken Dwarf coming in clutch. Not only can he play McCree, but he can also play the Beam Lady. Slam Donkey able to take down Brimstone out of the mech, but not doing much with that Scorpio, or not having to be able to put a lot of damage on the point. You might be able to see that with Molten Core as he comes back, but Brimstone being able to get back in the mech, having D.Va Bomb next time, it kind of eases the pressure off of C4 Gamer when it comes to tires and large explosions point priority, and we are seeing Lava switch from the Lucio onto the Mercy for a little bit of less sustained healing as Trev Daddy goes to the far end. Here's the skies that we were looking for in Lijiang Tower.
Well, Wilson's going to be coming out for Neptune points at 90%. If Marietta can hold this, they will take the map. D.Va Bomb's going to be coming out for Brimstone.
Good D.Va ulti, but it just misses the mark here. As the Molten Core comes out, but it's just not enough. Marietta putting in work. The Pioneers finding all the picks they need, and Slam Donkey's Molten Core not being able to find it. And guess what? Now we are moving into a potential, what is it? Game? It's not. It's always been game point, but we almost might be able to tie it up here, as it goes 3-2, favoring Muskingum, but the reverse sweep is still alive as C4 Gamers play of the game.
It's just awesome Junkrat play right there.
There it is. And I mean, it's really cool. Like, the more you play Junkrat is the more you get muscle memory for it. Unlike a lot of heroes where you're like, hey, this is what I'm doing, and this is how fast I'm going. And Junkrat's just like, can you understand angles and corners, right? If you can do that, the more you play it, the better you are. And, you know, C4 Gamer definitely has it on lock. But I do want to give mad props to Shaken Dwarf here. Because that Symmetra play was just better than Trev Daddy's. It just outperformed him on not Control Center. I think Control Center, Trev Daddy was able to get set up, and that's why I called for the switch earlier, because once you get set up there, it's really hard to remove all of those turrets. And as we go, we are seeing call for a potential 5-minute break. This definitely allows us to go get water, huh?
Yeah, I mean, we've been playing for about 2 hours now. So a little breather is always a good idea.
I agree.
Yeah, so I think just trying to see. I think as far as maps go, it all resets again. So I think we go back to escort. Yeah, we go back to escorts.
And then the last one will be hybrid.
Yeah.
So if we end this on a King's Row, who knows? But it will be the escort map to choose from. Last one we saw obviously was Havana, but we'll see what they choose. I'm definitely going to take that 5 minutes, get a drink of water, and I'll be right back.
Yeah, we'll take a break here. So the reverse sweep is still alive. So can Marietta hang on and try to get this all the way to a game 7? We'll find out a little bit. Don't go away. You're watching Marietta College Esports.
Have you heard what happened to those with curious minds? They packed up, broke free of conventions. These prospectors of knowledge are blazing a new trail, joining the long line of those who sought adventure and prepared for anything. This is the time. This is the place. Bring forth a pioneer.
All right, and welcome back. I think everyone is starting to come back. And it looks like the next map is going to be Junkertown. Just making a couple things to get everything set up.
Oh yeah, no, this has been a really exciting series of events. Not only the potential sweep here, but just being able to go even, right? Because that's that next step, and I think both teams have to be thinking about what that next step is. Muskingum needs to start getting kind of their tank synergy that they had as they start entering this game. They need to get that energy back here for Junkertown, and Junkertown's a really good map to go do that. I personally think not only is it a fairly good payload map, but it also has the skies component as well. So just like we saw at the end of Lijiang Tower with Lava and Trev Daddy trying to switch onto that pharmacy, we might see that earlier here today if there's no snipers being played by Marietta, because they haven't throughout the entire series, other than the Symmetra and the McCree. Now, if a McCree can snipe out a Pharah that has unlimited sky space, well then, Shaken Dwarf will be someone not to be trifled with. But because of this break, I think it attempts to reset Muskingum more than it attempts to, keep the tempo going for Marietta. But we'll definitely see as they have a lot of wind behind them, and Shaken Dwarf switching to the casual Widow pick to start off this map. You definitely see this for attackers trying to find a pick to push this payload. Slam Dunkey's back on that Torbjorn, and we do see the Yuki Trev Daddy pharmacy combo coming out. Not banking on a sniper here, as the minute they get picked, I imagine a switch.
All right, now I do have one person who would like to jump into the call, if I can figure out how to do that.
No worries. So as we start here, we are seeing C4 Gamer get burst down a little bit. Shaken Dwarf not being able to find too many people to come off, push in, and adjust, but the payload's not being moved because they know they need to find picks, they need to build a bolt charge, Trev down to being able to take down C4 Gamer, and that is what that counter pick is served for. C4 Gamer needs to either switch off of Junk or be able to get underneath and find those picks. Trev Daddy does go down though. Azadale being that good Lucio. Yuki being able to take down or pick up Trev Daddy. Azadale taking down Yuki. Brimstone being able to take down the turret, and Neptune putting in the DPS work here. The supports for Marietta putting in work on this attack and being able to push this payload past this first choke right away. Trying to get healed here as the defense for Muskingum does have to travel a long way, getting past the second choke, and that's where we see the harmful Hades Reinhardt come back. C4 Gaming has been able to pick up the soldier. Trev Daddy switching onto the Genji, and Ravam will go down here. Will go down quickly as it's a 3-on-6. And Marietta being able to take this first point pretty handedly as long as they're able to cap it. I know we definitely saw in Ivana they weren't able to cap that really inch left on the point, but I think Muskingum's just going to let him do it and prepare for streets. I'm very shocked to see Slam Dunkey not going back on the Hanzo, however, as Hanzo would be very good for Junkertown. Opts to stick on the Torbjorn, which is still a good pick, but it's definitely not being able to build up fast enough as far as the DPS roster goes.
I think I figured it out. Just add me on Discord real quick, and then I think I can add the other person.
No worries. As we start to watch them come in, and not only coming in slowly here, they're making it past this first point. Neptune still keeping that ult, and we are seeing Shaken Dwarf also able to slowly build up, but Rafam Shatter is that next thing as the Immortality Field comes down. C4 Game will be able to take down Trev Daddy. Slam Dunkey taking the Immortality Field down. However, Shaken Dwarf will have that counter Deadeye, and that's going to come massively into play here. As Marietta gets here, Shaken Dwarf able to find two, Rafam and Yuki going down. And this is the push Marietta wants. Not only Marietta needs, C4 Gamer takes down the only other DPS coming in as the Torbjorn turret. Harmful Hades is able to do the same thing, and Marietta's not only have a full head of steam late at night, but oh boy, looks like they're late night players here, taking points, moving the streets here, and that's something that I'm excited to see once we get back.
There you go. You should see it now. Sorry.
And we're here welcome here. We have Battle Dragon on the call, looking to find another voice for this Marietta team who has successfully managed not only to take point 2 of Junkertown, but is slowly pushing into point 3.
Yeah. Shadow Dragon's one of our players, and he's going to be able to give us a little insight from the team.
Trev Daddy taking down, and Harmful Hades takes down Trev Daddy, which might be able to restabilize for Marietta here. And that is a good Diva bomb. Tell me about Brimstone. Brimstone's Diva, is that all they play? Because they're doing a very good job keeping the point pressure here.
So I can actually answer that. Brimstone actually started as a healer for the Overwatch team. Now he does flex a bit on the tank, and Diva is his main choice. But typically when he played with us, especially when I played on the team in some matches, he was our one of our main healers.
We've definitely been through that at CSP, but now we see Azadale coming in with this feed. Rafam is getting the shield broken down and able to get the Shatter and the Molten Core down. This is the ults that Muskingum needs. Trev Daddy back on the Pharah is able to find in this tight enclosed space. A little bit of success as Muskingum finally resists the amount of pressure that Marietta is able to put on. And with Doc with that grab, they might have another successful fight with 4 minutes left of the clock.
Barry was able to push quite a bit during that, and this is the first time they actually got stopped this entire round. So now it's just a matter of, can Marietta get that final push, just like we were talking about the last map. Can they get that extra oomph that they need? And the previous maps that they lost, they came so close and just fell a little short. But now can they get that extra oomph to try to secure this round?
And that is the grab that we were talking about here. Doc being able to take down Azadale. And that's going to be okay as long as Marietta can start building up those ults again. Right now they're being staggered. It is hard to find. I mean, a team with so much aggression is definitely going to want to keep pushing, but it is up to that ultimate priority here. Is Trev Daddy is starting to feel themselves on this Pharah. That's 94 to the barrage, and Yuki as well. They definitely have a great ultimate combo here, and are kind of pushing out of the realm of being able to stagger Marietta's ults, as they just need to build them. The Shaking Dwarf does have that high noon, looking to pick the Pharaoh from the sky, and that's what this is. But Trev Daddy's able to take him out of the high noon, and no lamp can save you from that amount of damage. Trev Daddy's on a roll here.
They're just going to have to find an answer to that fire. It is something they have struggled with all season long. C4 Gamer did swap to the Soldier 76 to try to counter it, but hopefully they can find to get the answer they need for it, so they can try to finish moving the payload. It's slowly moving back. I mean, they will get credit for as far as they push, but they don't want to just get it so far. They want to get it all the way to the end of the point. And they only got just a little over 2 minutes to do so, but they are getting a couple ults online.
They are trying to go underneath, but they don't have their entire team here. Let's see if they can find those picks. Rafam trying to not get caught out here, but you want to stay underneath. As Yuki does get picked off, that's half of the pharmacy. Let's see what happens here. Is Trev Daddy able to take Brimstone out of mech, but Neptune able to take down Doc, and Doc very well this map, so actually being able to remove them, hopefully being able to get priority on this payload, but defenders are winning this. Let's see if the turret can be down, and this is just a long-winded push from Marietta. They keep getting consistent picks as Rafam will go down here, and that Molten Core is attempting to eat at Marietta's team here, but that lamp won't let it happen, and another pick on Slam Dunk. And that is Trev Daddy going down, not being able to find the Justice raining from above. Doc's back on point though, and they need to take down that Mercy if they're gonna find any purchase, but Marietta's splitting up, not being able to find those picks as effectively as they were right away, and now they have to regroup with a minute now. Well, just a minute left on the clock. That's about 2 good pushes. Oh boy, Marietta definitely has the offensive work, but they need to get past Trev Daddy's Pharah.
They just need to move. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry, I was going to say, I know going into the match, Marietta, especially talking in the head, that Trev Daddy was the main focus. We've played him before. We know he's a great DPS player. And going in, they know that has to be the priority target in order to make things push even further. So with him going on the Pharah and knowing he's as well a DPS player, it's definitely a major push to get him out first so the rest can follow up.
That's a visor, and that's a great shatter coming in from Rafam, and a good grab from Doc here. But we are seeing a great ult from Brimstone, being able to take down the healers, but can they do this? This is a nano Torbjorn here. And Shaken Dwarf looking for extra picks, and he is able to find Trev Daddy, which will be able to push the point, I think, a little bit past where they wanted it. Slam Donkey will have the Molten Core coming down, and there will be the Valkyrie coming up too. Asdale will have a lot to beat on their hands here. It is 8 seconds left on the clock. Can they stay on the point? And can Harmful Hades actually stay alive here? The good purples, again, coming out from Lava here. Yuki being able to pull out the Valkyrie and not being able to get on the point, but pushing it fairly far here. Marietta will go on defense after a pretty successful, all things considered, offense here. Getting the point past point 2 and about 89 meters ahead. Since we have Shadow Dragon in with us, since you're in the comms here, I've definitely seen a switch from really focusing Shield. After the first 3 maps, there's definitely not a lot of focus on Rafam's Shield because Rafam doesn't really switch a lot. Was there any talk about kind of attacking that point of Muskingum's entire kit when it came to their team?
You know, I really didn't hear much about the shield, but I do know, even as a comp standpoint, taking out that shield right away can help and make the difference in getting a pick, which will give you the advantage. I know we typically like to run, either maybe a Hanzo or a Junkrat to help deal with those shields. And, Rafam, just like Trev Daddy, he's another key player in that aspect. So you get those two out of there, they will really help Marietta get that final push into, getting either capturing a point or either taking the map all together as a win.
Exactly, and that was a big thing. That's a big shift we saw, especially on Volskaya, is they were successfully able to take down that shield finally. And once you roll over 1, it's pretty easy to find those picks because C4 Gamer has that potential, especially on the Junkrat pick. However, he's on that soldier, and it will be Trev Daddy on the Widowmaker, just like Shaken Dwarf did on attack here. Let's see who can build up those ults first here, as Muskingum has taking the offensive push, but it will be, instead of falling back to the second choke, it will be just the battle of building ults, and it looks like Muskingum has done a fairly good job after the switch of Trev Daddy to Faro again, running the pharmacy, and it's who gets this first pick.
So this is a critical round for Marietta. The win condition has been set by Muskingum, so if they can get all the way to that point and then some, they will secure the championship. But Marietta has to hold, so that way we can go to a Game 7.
Exactly, and that Game 7 is what is going to be put on the line. Slam Donkey, though, not showing that he's not just a Hanzo player, able to actually take down 2 members of Marietta here. Doc being able to pick up the rest 3 as Azadale goes down. Not being on that Lucio, switching to the Ana just for more blanket heals, especially those purples. Slam Donkey, though, being the cleanup crew as that first point is taking quite handily. Again, Trev Daddy on the Pharah is doing a lot of damage to shield and being able to zone out very effectively for not for C4 Gamer, but for Slam Donkey to come in on this soldier and actually start clearing house.
Yeah, definitely Marietta, I think, needs to prioritize Trev Daddy, which they did just take out the Pharah and Trev Daddy there, but they still had Yuki for the res, which they do cool off here by the looks of it. Maybe, yep, they did get the res. So, if they can target Trev Daddy and just get that pharmacy combo out of there, I think they can really have a fighting chance here to hold them.
There's the barrage, but it goes down, only taking out C4 Gamer, and they need to hug that corner, just as you were saying, Shadow, because at the end of the day, there is the Shaken Dwarf coming in with the High Noon, but having to be forced to take out Lamp right away. What they need to do now is they need to start taking out this tank lineup. Doc being able to have the grab, and as the window comes in, Slam Donkey taking advantage of that. Rafam getting a great shatter, and this is that push. This is that Muskingum that we've seen kind of all tournament, really pushing in, but that is a nano C4 Gamer. And you can't help to think that that Nano was out there just to be able to prioritize that switch as Azadale gets on this point, because I think the Lucio was just working a little bit better. Just not only did they have that stall, but also that point presence here. As the staggered Ana comes down, maybe taking a little bit of seconds off, but now is the time for Marietta. 5 minutes left on the clock, and they need to find something, and they need to find it quick.
Oh yeah, and I know that Lucio is definitely a good pick too, but I know why Azadale may go with the Ana. I know being able to give DPS maybe that last fighting chance to help stall while people get back, I mean, that can make a real key factor if played right as well.
And especially being able to also have some little bit of hit scan on the Pharah. might be able to do it. But Muskingum is just pushing with not a lot of resistance here. Shakendorf going on the Bastion, kind of going for this last-ditch effort here. As Brimstone is have that Diva Bomb, they will probably have one good push in them unless they don't even make it to points.
Yep. This game is just zoning Marietta out. They have to get to a point right now where it's going to be it.
And there it is. Muskingum is able to find a good push, not only from first point, but all the way through streets, and then just being able to zone in spawn Marietta and Trev Daddy, the very star DPS player of the Muskies, rightfully deserved here with the Rocket Barrage, as they are able to not only claim point of the game, but they do win the CSP Spring Cup with the 4th win out of this best of 7.
Yeah, one thing I will mention though, and I kind of saw it in the comments too in the game, Marietta definitely has improved and come a long way from the start. I know I came in, I think it was the 2nd semester that the Overwatch team was actually formed, and from then to now is a world of difference. I mean, I know when we would play Muskingum, it would be a tough match. We would go in there knowing it was going to be a fight, but the fact that we were able to go 6 games with our rival, especially in football and as a school in a whole, but a rival in esports, it's impressive for Marietta, and they have definitely, like I said, improved on so much, from DPS to all the other areas of characters, but even character selection and strategy. I mean, it has come a long way.
Yeah. They have, and with that CSP Cup win, they will receive a 200 Overwatch League credits, courtesy of CSP. Each player will receive them to try and match a pro team skin to theirs, and try, more importantly, to look stylish in their days to come. We want to make this an annual tournament on behalf of Concordia University St. Paul, and so hopefully expecting to see Marietta back here next spring as we compete with potentially new teams or very much similar teams. I definitely would like to see the Marietta Muskingum matchup back next year, as both teams constantly improve with their programs. But again, big props to Marietta, not only making it through the playoffs, but also through the regular season. And Muskingum doing it sometimes very handedly, but as we saw in this championship game, do have some sore spots that definitely can be exploited, and definitely a good matchup for the future. But I'd like to thank everyone for showing up, and especially thanking Marietta for allowing me to be on stream here today.
Yeah, of course. So first of all, everyone give Coach Herms here a big round of applause in the chats for the awesome commentary. I think it definitely made the experience all the worthwhile. And I do want to say on behalf of Marietta College, thank you so much for putting on this tournament. I know our players absolutely enjoyed it. And I know it didn't turn out the way that they had hoped in this match, but I think they can walk away knowing just how much they've improved in this semester alone. And the fact they were able to take games against Muskingum. As I mentioned earlier, I mean, in our previous matches with them, we would get 3-0'd handily. So the fact that we were able to put up this good of a fight just shows how much they've been working hard for it. So I'm very proud of my team, and I hope they hear that in the stream. I'm very proud with what they're able to do today.
And I hope they do too. Definitely, it's not something to hang your head at. Potentially finding that reverse sweep, and more importantly, finding the energy to adapt and overcome for those 2 maps. Definitely, there was some room for improvement on the 3rd map, but I don't think any of us stopped believing in it, in that reverse sweep, especially after what we saw in Volskaya and the energy that the team brought. Other than that, I do appreciate Shadow Dragon hopping in, and of course, Coach here for allowing us to be here, and more importantly, coming into the tournament. But I hope you all have a nice night.
Yes, thank you. So as a reminder for everyone, we still have some matches this weekend for you. So tomorrow, our Rocket League will have its final match of the season against Trine University in the GLEC. So that'll be at 7 o'clock. So please be sure to come back for that. And on Saturday, our League of Legends team will be trying to fight to get into the finals of their TiVo Cup bracket as they face Columbia College Chicago. So that'll be at 4 o'clock on Saturday. So from all of us here, all the latest updates with what's going on with Marietta Esports, please be sure to follow us on Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all at Marietta Esports. You can check out all of our matches for this season at our YouTube channel, bit.ly/Marietta Esports. Thank you all for watching, and we hope you enjoy the rest of your evening.